The story started in a fiery, hell-like place with demons. After 9 transformations, a person became a saint and used the cleansing lotus demon flame to eradicate evil. Another man brought the 4 elephants, defeating demons with the swallowing ancestral symbols. The tale unfolded across 9,000 worlds with legendary individuals possessing immense power and cultivating spiritual energy levels to transcend barriers and destroy lands. Among them, a few legendary individuals broke through the barrier of the plains and transcended to absolute strength and cultivated spiritual energy. Amidst this grand setting, a divine artifact called the Mirror of Judgment was revealed. Every 3 years, it selected a group of exceptionally talented youths and activated the spiritual road as a trial for them. They were directly accepted into the 5 Great Academies by passing this trial, which fostered many influential individuals. It was the ultimate aspiration of every youth dreaming of becoming strong. However, what exactly happened within the spiritual road remained a mystery. The main character, Muchan, conversed with Liu Li in an unknown realm. Muchan expressed his intention to step out and leave this realm for a specific purpose. Liu Li assured him she would wait for his return at the 5 Great Academies and even promised to avenge him by killing that person for him. However, Muchan would not make her wait long, and he would never forgive him. A year and a half later, as the sun rose over the horizon, illuminating the vast martial grounds, disciples from various clans gathered to demonstrate their prowess in the annual Grand Hunting Competition. In the Northern Spiritual Academy, the bell rang, signaling the start of the competition, and students engaged in intense battles. Mu Yuan, a West Branch Earth class student, unleashed punishing attacks on his fellow disciples, unhappy that they hadn't bowed to him earlier. Su Ling, a student from the East Branch Earth class, confronted Mu Yuan about his bullying, trying to stand up for their classmates. Mu Yuan paid little attention to Su Ling's objections and continued asserting dominance. He even went as far as placing his foot on Su Ling's head and slamming him to the ground, reminding him of his failure and laughing at his misfortune. However, a sudden turn of events surprised everyone present. A punch landed squarely on Mu Yuan's face, sending him flying and crashing into a tree. Mu Yuan's eyes rolled back, and he frothed at the mouth after hitting a tree with such force. His mates confronted Su Ling and the other students, assuming they were responsible for the punch, but they denied involvement. Out of nowhere, Muchan emerged from a tree, admitting that he was the one who punched Mu Yuan and sarcastically asking if it tasted good. Muchan had become the first person in history to be thrown out of the spiritual road, yet he remained unfazed by the bullies' taunts. While they tried to belittle him, Muchan yawned, seemingly unbothered by their words. As Muchan continued to face their bullying, Su Ling stepped in and silenced the others. He asked Muchan why he didn't defend himself and expressed his disappointment at Muchan's behavior, calling him disgraceful. However, Muchan remained preoccupied with his disturbed nap, seemingly uninterested. Now back on his feet, Mu Yuan prepared to attack Muchan in retaliation for his actions. His 2 mates attacked first, but Muchan used a spell and in the blink of an eye caused them to vanish. Muchan landed and spoke confidently. If Mu Yuan wanted to teach him a lesson, then he would at least have to be in the spiritual stage. Undeterred, Mu Yuan launched his assault while boasting about his second-place position in the Spiritual Academy's Earth class. To his surprise, all of Mu Yuan's attacks missed its mark. Muchan taunted him about his second-place rank and effortlessly countered by elbowing him in the gut. Mu Yuan rolled over and crumpled to the ground, shocked that Muchan had defeated him without using spiritual art. Muchan boasted that his advancement in the spiritual arts was only done recently, so he hadn't learned how to use it yet, claiming that Mu Yuan was unworthy of facing him. As Muchan raised his hand, Mu Yuan pleaded for his life, but unbeknownst to Mu Yuan, Muchan was fatigued and just wanted to rest. At that moment, Leo entered the scene, and Mu Yuan showed respect by grabbing Leo's leg and revealing that Leo was the champion boss of the West Branch. But Muchan barely cared about Leo's identity, which infuriated Mu Yuan, leaving him both angry and amazed. But unbeknownst to Mu Yuan, Liu was just a weak champion compared to the champions of the Game Raid Shadow Legends. Not to mention, it has over 700 unique champions along with a super detailed RPG battle system and incredible graphics quality, which is very expected of our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. This game also has over 15 factions, containing strong magical beings that you can get yourself into for raiding 12 imposing dungeons. The dungeons aren't the only thing to fight, as you can do PvP matches in the live arena. Well, the good news is that it supports both mobile devices and desktop devices, where you can customize your avatars endlessly and engage in intense combat with over 400 million players from 190 countries. And if you are new to the game, then you can get your hands on Stag Knight, one of the best epic champions around, as well as a skin for Stag Knight, designed by JonTron. Just use the promo code JTSSkin before October 7th. And even if you're not a new player, you can still get Stag Knight in the skin through an in-game event. I personally like Dracomorph, and you can also choose the same if you are a die-hard fan of dragons. If you are pro at it, then you probably have fought the Hydra and faced off against other clans, but now you can do both at the same time. Hydra Clash is a new clan-based competition where you and 4 other clans compete to see who can smack the Hydra the hardest. There are sweet rewards on offer too. But to get those insane rewards, you have to use my link in the description or scan my QR code. We are talking about an epic champion Talia and other useful things. So just hit my link in the description, and I'll see you on the battlefield. So, Yuan informed Muchan that Leo held the top position in the Northern Spiritual Academy's Earth class and possessed a human-level spiritual pulse. Despite Yuan's explanation, Leo mocked him, leading Leo to lash out and label Muchan as trash for disrespecting him. Leo launched an attack using a solar fist, which Muchan managed to block, though he was shocked by Leo's power. Undeterred, Leo tried to attack again, and Muchan launched a kick at him, but a whip intervened, striking his hand and pulling him into a tree. It turned out that Chen confronted Liu for attacking her people in her territory. Seeing this, Yuan tried to help Liu, but Leo punched him in frustration. Following the altercation, Leo warned Muchan, challenging him to a competition at the East-West branch event scheduled in 10 days. Leo departed, and Muchan attempted to leave but was stopped by Chen. She acknowledged that Muchan lacked spiritual arts training yet fought against Leo. Muchan was grateful for her support against Liu and thanked Su Ling for calling her. However, Chen offered her help dealing with Liu again, expressing her care for Muchan. He declined, saying he had confidence in defeating Liu Yang in the upcoming competition. He assured her that 10 days was enough to learn spiritual arts. Chen mentioned hearing that the spiritual road was over and confirmed the emergence of many exceptional individuals during the journey, with one possessing a human-level spiritual pulse sought after by 5 prestigious academies. Muchan identified this person as Ji Xuan, and he'd let him experience the view for a while. Muchan wanted Luo Li to wait for him as he wouldn't take too long. In the northern spiritual realm, the lands were divided into 9 territories, each under the control of a powerful clan. These territories maintained their balance through alliances and opposition, a delicate dance of power. In the Mu territory, Muchan returned after a year, greeted warmly by his father, who was elated to see his son back home. However, Muchan noticed weariness and depression in his father's demeanor. Concerned, he inquired about the cause, and a servant revealed that his father felt lonely as his beloved pet dog had recently departed. Muchan couldn't help but ask about the peculiar wig his father was wearing and the reason behind it. His father explained that the wig was expensive and believed to increase his power, solving his hair loss. As time passed, the conversation shifted to the upcoming competition where Muchan was set to face Liu Yang. Muchan realized that Leo was quite different from the others he had encountered in the past, and he felt unprepared as he lacked any spiritual arts. His father grew angry, asserting that Liu Yang's people were notorious troublemakers among the 9 territories. To aid his son in facing this challenge, Muchan's father stood up and invited him to learn spiritual arts at the Spiritual Art Hall. Intrigued, they both ventured to the hall, which left Muchan in awe as it resembled a magnificent library. However, upon entering, Muchan was taken aback to find numerous unfamiliar faces. People from other clans were also present. Typically, only their clan members were allowed entry. Undeterred, Muchan continued his search for a spiritual art book in the vast collection. Amidst the assortment, he stumbled upon a peculiar box, curiosity getting the best of him, and he opened it. To his astonishment, he found a hidden spiritual art book left behind by his mother. The title emblazoned on the cover read, "The Great Pagoda Art." His father had explained that this precious treasure was a legacy from his mother, a profound and ancient art. The revelation left Muchan with mixed emotions. The Great Pagoda Art could be a potential key to his victory against Liu Yang. However, Muchan's initial reaction to the spiritual art left by his mother was indifference. He didn't know his mother and had grown up with only his father's presence, which led him to reject embracing his mother's legacy. Nevertheless, his father persisted, leading Muchan to a dungeon-like place where a grand golden door stood. As his father opened it, the room revealed an array of clothes, furniture, and belongings that once belonged to Muchan's mother. Amidst the assortment of items, Muchan's father pointed out his mother's favorite biscuits and clothing, hoping to evoke some connection within his son. However, Muchan remained uninterested in these artifacts and instead fixated on the image of the Monkey King, whom he associated with his mother. The absence of pictures of his mother only fueled Muchan's lack of connection. Despite his intention to leave, his father halted him, revealing a sculpture meticulously carved by his mother. As Muchan held the statue, he questioned why it lacked a face, to which his father confessed that he blamed himself for not being there when Muchan's mother disappeared. He explained that she had left to protect him and their family, leaving behind the spiritual art as a guide for their son. Compelled by curiosity, Muchan finally unrolled the scroll containing his mother's spiritual art, and unexpectedly, a surge of powerful spiritual energy engulfed him, momentarily taking control of his body. He wondered just what type of spiritual arts his mother used. Dozed and lightheaded, Muchan found himself on the ground as a black paper exited from his forehead. He remembered it resembling the one from the spiritual road. The spiritual energy inside his body started to circulate, and he absorbed all of it using the body as a pagoda. He then dozed off and fell face to face with a mysterious lady who called his name. She spoke softly, reminding him of his mother, and at that moment, Muchan muttered the word mother. Suddenly, his father woke him up from the trance by gently slapping him. In the following days, Muchan diligently practiced spiritual art in the forest, learning moves like the common tier high-rank movement, spiritual art shadow dance, and middle-rank attack. The newfound power intrigued and delighted him, and his father guided him in honing his skills. However, his father reminded him of the impending tournament at the Northern Spiritual Academy, where he was supposed to face Liu. Despite this, Muchan knew he needed to find and connect with particular individuals before committing to the challenge against Liu. Principal Xiao commenced the Earth-class East-West branch fighting competition at the prestigious Northern Spiritual Academy. He informed the participants that limited spots were available for advancement to the Heaven class, and each contestant could issue only one challenge. As the competition began, an unexpected series of challenges erupted among the participants, fueled by grudges and rivalries. Qian was noticeably anxious as Muchan had not arrived yet. Observing the unfolding events, the highest-ranked East Branch teacher, Mo, couldn't help but praise Principal Xiao's unique approach of imitating others, finding it highly effective. However, the highest-ranked West Branch teacher, Shi, ridiculed East Branch, claiming West Branch would dominate the Heaven class advancement this year. He boasted about the top 10 ranks in the Earth class belonging to West Branch and pointed to Liu Yang, asserting that he alone could defeat everyone in the competition. Teacher Shi targeted Muchan, stating he was merely a repeater from their East Branch. On the other hand, Teacher Mo came to Muchan's defense, recognizing his strength and comprehensive skill set. According to Teacher Mo, Muchan was a genius who had entered the spiritual road within their northern spiritual realm, an achievement unmatched by others. Teacher Shi disparaged Muchan further, mentioning that the harsh environment within the spiritual road made it difficult to use spiritual art, and those who endured till the end gained dense spiritual energy empowerment. However, Muchan was expelled midway, wasting an entire year. Teacher Mo countered this by explaining that the divine artifact mirror had selected Muchan, and entering the spiritual road was his rightful opportunity. Meanwhile, Principal Xiao observed the fights from a distance, thoroughly enjoying the daring performances. Amid the battles, Liu Yang engaged in a fierce duel with the top-ranked West Branch fighter, seemingly having the upper hand. However, the #1 East Branch Earth-class contender, Tang Qingsan, could no longer tolerate Liu's mockery of the East Branch. Fueled by anger, Tang attacked Liu with all his spiritual energy left. As he leaped, he launched his powerful mountain fist. Though Liu managed to block the attack, he was shocked at the strength and swiftly retaliated with his solar flame fist, sending Tang flying across the ground in a fiery blaze. Just as things seemed dire for Tang, Muchan suddenly arrived, catching him mid-air and apologizing for his tardiness. The onlookers were astonished, whispering that Muchan's father must have given him some heavy items, causing the delay. Muchan then opened the food his father had provided and offered it to Tang, who cautioned him about fighting Liu Yang as he felt something strange about him. However, Muchan assured him to relax. Undeterred, Liu Yang, charged with flame energy, taunted Muchan, vowing to destroy him. Amidst the excitement, Qian playfully threatened Muchan that if he lost, she would kill him, further igniting the anticipation surrounding the impending fight. Liu Yang rushed at Muchan while cursing at him. Confident and grateful for Qian's support, Muchan readied himself to face Liu Yang. Amidst the furious and exuberant crowd, tensions ran high and slurs were exchanged between the opposite branches. Amid the commotion, a servant approached a master, notifying him that the requested item had been delivered and the instructions had been conveyed to a Yang. Both Muchan and Liu Yang stood prepared for their showdown on the fighting stage. At the same time, the mysterious master wanted to see just how extraordinary Muchan was. Liu Yang unleashed his flames, telling Muchan what a true genius was. A fiery charge was launched toward him, but Muchan managed to evade it with a focused effort narrowly. However, he was quickly bombarded by multiple attacks from every direction, leaving him stuck in place, while Liu Yang mocked him for not fighting back. The East Branch members were anxious about Muchan's fight, but their teacher Mo expressed confidence in their calm and accurate fighting style, a rare attribute. However, Teacher Shi interjected, highlighting Liu Yang's advantage of entering the spiritual movement before Muchan and possessing a human-level spiritual pulse, making him stronger. As the battle continued, Liu Yang used his dragon fist at Muchan, who skillfully dodged the attack. Liu Yang taunted Muchan for running away, continuing to assail him with a powerful dragon flame attack. However, Muchan swiftly evaded and counterattacked from behind. While stating that he was a sorry excuse for a genius young master, he sent Liu Yang crashing to the ground and mentioned that if he had spiritual energy, he must have a brain to use it, leaving the audience stunned. However, the battle was over. Liu Yang retaliated with a human-level spiritual pulse and unleashed the Absolute Territory Solar Flame Palm. Muchan responded with his attack, creating a powerful energy surge that swept the arena. The fierce exchange showcased their immense strength and skills. Muchan then recalled his promise to Lu Li. Muchan mocked him, stating that this little amount of spiritual energy was far from enough to defeat him. He unleashed all his stored-up power, leaving the crowd to fly away, and it was revealed to be the middle stage of the spiritual movement realm. In a final move, Liu Yang employed his flame attack, but Muchan countered with the formidable Great Pagoda art. The clash led to Liu Yang being pushed back, nearly off the stage, but he managed to balance himself back in. Taking advantage of Liu Yang's precarious position, Muchan gave him a slight push, ultimately toppling him over the edge. Muchan even apologized before stating that he had lost. The East Branch erupted in celebration as Muchan emerged victorious, much to everyone's astonishment, even impressing Principal Xiao, who envisioned a bright future for Muchan. However, after his defeat, Liu Yang's fury consumed him, and in his rage, he tore off his necklace, attempting to attack Muchan once more with a powerful flame attack. Despite his intense efforts, Liu Yang's attacks were missed, and Muchan retaliated with a swift punch to his face. When Muchan grabbed Liu Yang's hand, the necklace slipped from his grasp, revealing a forbidden item known as the Spirit Destruction Necklace. The crowd condemned Liu Yang for using a banned item during the fight, but Liu Yang demanded it back, and when Muchan knocked him down, he came back from behind. However, Muchan had enough, and if he wanted to die that badly, he wouldn't hesitate to fulfill his wish. Just then, Heaven Class Number 1, Liu Mubai, arrived on the scene and intervened, hoping to assist his brother Liu Yang. However, to everyone's surprise, Liu Mubai slapped Liu Yang, reprimanding him for violating the rules. He apologized to Muchan for his brother's actions, who took the apology graciously, insisting that Liu Yang had brought trouble upon himself. Liu Mubai then asked Muchan if he would return the necklace, as it was a gift from their father to his brother. Muchan refused to give it back, which provoked Liu Mubai to attempt an attack. However, Qian swiftly stepped between them, preventing further confrontation. Qian stood firmly defending Muchan, confronting Liu Mubai about his little brother's cheating and how he couldn't bully Muchan. The situation remained tense as the aftermath of the intense battle played out before the audience's eyes. The crowd and Principal Xiao were now highly interested in this intense battle and confrontation. With his usual charm, Liu Mubai replied that he couldn't attack Qian as she was his junior. He added that Muchan shouldn't hide behind a girl and should confront him directly. In response, Muchan calmly stated that he was used to being protected by beautiful girls, which angered the crowd. Qian intervened, stopping both of them, and raised the point that Liu Yang had broken the rules and should be disqualified from ascending to the Heaven class. Liu Mubai argued that his brother didn't fully understand the severity of the matter and was gravely injured from the fight. He suggested both parties step down and apologize to Qian on Liu Yang's behalf, presenting the necklace as a peace offering to settle the matter. This gesture infuriated Qian, and she vehemently expressed that an apology and gift wouldn't make them overlook the cheating. However, Muchan calmed her down, explaining that the necklace was a high-rank treasure, and if they calculated it carefully, they would benefit from keeping it. After some negotiation, Muchan and Liu Mubai agreed to a deal. Muchan would keep the necklace, and in return, they would let go of the issue of Liu Yang's cheating. Observing the situation, Principal Xiao was amazed and pleased by Liu Mubai's ability to resolve the chaotic situation within minutes. On the other hand, Teacher Mo appeared unhappy and believed Principal Xiao didn't want to offend the Liu territory or the Mu territory by letting the cheating slide. Despite this, Principal Xiao stepped onto the stage and announced Muchan's victory against Liu Yang, prompting the East Territory crowd to cheer for Muchan's triumph. Moreover, Principal Xiao declared that 2 other students, Tan Kongshan and Liu Yang, had also qualified to ascend to the Heaven class. Muchan embraced his victory and began preparing for the ascent to the Heaven class, while recalling Lu Li's words, telling him to wait for her. A few days later, in Northern Spiritual Academy, Chen, now a Heaven class student, donned the prestigious Heaven class uniform. Tan Kongshan questioned whether they should first visit the instructors or choose the spiritual arts they wanted to study. This innocent query angered Chen, who handed them yellow hats and took charge, guiding them to the renowned Heaven class Holy Land. This Holy Land was none other than the #1 beauty of the Heaven class, Tang Chan, who had continuously rejected 999 suitors, earning her fame. As they ventured further, Qian proudly showed them the famous beauty tree she planted on her first day at the academy. However, her constant showing off and guiding frustrated Muchen, a fact not lost on Qian, who grew angry at his impatience. Suddenly, a group of people rushed past them hurriedly, and Qian, Muchen, and Tan Kongshan decided to follow them. They ended up at the Heaven class cultivating field, an area equipped with a 3rd-rank spirit convergence array. The Academy had invested considerable money in inviting a spiritual array master from one of the 5 great academies to build this array. Muchen remarked that the spiritual aura was being drawn towards this field, but Tan Kongshan pointed out that the aura inside wouldn't be as abundant as outside. Qian explained that training in the Heaven class cultivating field would significantly increase their spiritual energy. A crowd had gathered outside the gate, eagerly waiting for it to open. Qian threw Muchen and Tan Kongshan inside as the gate opened, making them the first to enter. Muchen noticed a sprout convergence array within the cultivating field with 3 seats nearby. He and Tan Kongshan quickly occupied 2 seats and reserved one for Qian by placing a book on it. When she entered, Qian praised them for securing such good seats. She informed them that spirit convergence stones were incredibly rare, and to arrange a 3rd-rank spirit convergence array in the northern spiritual realm. Only their academy possessed the strength and wealth. Tan Kongshan was pleasantly surprised by how rapidly his spiritual aura grew in the cultivating field. Qian added that there were even higher-ranked spirit convergence arrays in other academies, where they could experience more significant and faster energy gains. Muchen proposed they should visit those other academies to experience all the different spirit convergence arrays. Amid their discussion, 3 students arrived and confronted Muchen, questioning who allowed them to sit in those seats. Having already passed 18, these students had failed to advance to the spiritual rotation stage and lost the right to enter the 5 great academies. Disheartened, they had given up on life and were waiting to pass their days. They scoffed at the rules of Northern Spiritual Academy, earning themselves the nickname Old Farts. Chan found these individuals annoying and asked Muchen not to engage with them. One of the veteran Old Farts, Luo Tong, approached Qian and paid his respects by offering her a flower. However, she confronted him with a somewhat aggressive demeanor, stating that the rules of the cultivating field were first come, first served, and he shouldn't comment on Muchen and Tan sitting there. Though Luo Tong respected Qian, he was still angry about Muchen and Tan occupying seats next to her. The tension between the 2 parties escalated, with Qian defending Muchen and Tan, while the disgruntled students remained discontent. Despite the confrontation, Muchen and Tan remained calm and composed, unwilling to return from their seats in the cultivating field. Luo Tong pointed at Muchen and Tan, mocking them as weaklings and pretty boys, which deeply offended Tan. He made derogatory comments about Tan's appearance, comparing him to a girl, which struck a nerve because Tan's mother always wanted a delicate and cute daughter, but ended up with 4 boys before Tan. Tan's frustration peaked and he impulsively attacked Luo Tong with his mountain fist. However, Qian swiftly intervened, using her whip to grab Tan in midair, scolding him for fighting in the spiritual cultivation hall and reminding him that his trim physique wouldn't stand a chance in a physical confrontation. A beautiful woman, Hong Ling, emerged from the ground, known as the Belle of the Western Branch. She and Qian, when combined, were called the Immortals of the East and West. Rumors circulated among the crowd about their past, with some claiming they were once fighting over Leo Mubai, while others believed they were now competing for Muchen's attention. Muchan greeted Qian and Hongling, and they playfully started arguing about who was more beautiful. Cleverly sensing the tension, Muchan diverted their attention by pointing behind them, pretending Teacher Mo was coming. But they saw through his trick and continued their playful quarrel. As Qian and Hongling engaged in a friendly battle, the crowd cheered them on. Meanwhile, Muchan sat in a cross-legged stance and began meditating. Suddenly, a blue aura emitted from him, captivating the spectators. He became more energetic and appeared to transform into a bright form, even impressing himself. He thought it might be spiritual pulses causing this phenomenon. As he injected the blue aura, a magical circle appeared, which shocked him as he was wrapped around it. He had unconsciously achieved a state of serenity and equilibrium in his spiritual pulse. His energy burst out, revealing his advancement in the next stage. The crowd couldn't believe it, as Muchan had achieved a breakthrough in his first practice after ascending to the heaven class. His spiritual energy pulse eventually vanished, but Muchan felt it was urging him to search for something. Confused yet intrigued, he contemplated the connection between the great pagoda art and the spiritual road. As the crowd marveled at the spectacle they just witnessed, Muchan remained deep in thought, trying to make sense of the extraordinary experience. Amidst the excitement and astonishment, Tan tapped on Muchan's shoulder, expressing concern for his well-being. Muchan replied that he had never felt better. Qian praised him for advancing to the next level in such a short amount of time, acknowledging his impressive progress. Observing Muchan's newfound power, Hongling was also amazed. She informed them that according to the rules, Muchan could now choose new offensive spiritual arts from the Hall of Spiritual Arts. Eager to guide Muchan, Qian immediately grabbed him, intending to take him to the spiritual hall to learn spiritual art. However, Hongling intervened, grabbing Muchan from the other side and asserting he was going with her to learn spiritual art. This created a playful tug-of-war over Muchan, with Qian insisting that he should go with her while Hongling was equally determined to take him under her wing. Muchan, Qian, and Hongling found themselves at the Northern Spiritual Academy's Spiritual Arts Library, renowned as the #1 in the realm. Muchan mentioned that he had visited this place once during his art class and didn't find it particularly special. However, Qian explained that he had only seen the Earth class section and that today they would explore the second floor, reserved exclusively for Heaven class students. Here, all the provided spiritual arts were of the spiritual level, far superior to the ordinary ones on the Earth class level. While they perused the place, Muchan felt an unusual sensation, as if someone or something was calling out to him. He asked Qian if she also sensed it, but she dismissed it, thinking he was daydreaming. She urged him to forget the calling and focus on selecting a spiritual art for himself. On the other hand, Hongling suggested that Muchan accompany her, and she would help him choose the best spiritual art. The difference in opinions ignited a verbal confrontation between Qian and Hongling, insisting they were the best choice for guiding Muchan. Their friendly banter took on a competitive edge, each trying to prove why their approach was superior. Qian showed Muchan the Blue Falcon arts of the low spiritual grade, and in response, Hongling presented the Scorching Flame arts. They playfully mocked each other's selections and playfully tossed spiritual art scrolls back and forth. The librarian interrupted, asking them to stop their fighting and reprimanding them for causing a commotion in the library. However, Qian and Hongling seemed unfazed by the librarian's scolding and continued their playful banter. Meanwhile, Muchan once again heard the mysterious voice urging him to find something. He closed his eyes to concentrate on the voice, and when he opened them, he saw a red aura guiding him. Following the aura, he discovered a spiritual art scroll named the Limitless Death Seal. Despite being an ordinary grade spiritual art, it was also the most dangerous one in the library. Many exceptionally talented students had attempted to forcefully cultivate it, only to have their meridians disconnected, nearly leaving them disabled. Due to its perilous nature, the Academy's principal had sealed it securely. The librarian warned Muchan not to touch the Limitless Death Seal, cautioning him about its danger. However, Muchan was undeterred and boasted that a voice from the darkness was beckoning him to break the seal. He confidently proclaimed that he would succeed in unlocking its power. As Muchan used his energy on the seal, it shattered, and the Limitless Death Seal opened before him. He felt empowered by its dark energy, which engulfed him. Focused on the art, he questioned whether he had succeeded or not. Looking at his hand, he noticed a mark indicating that the art had left an impression on him. The librarian became concerned, sensing that something was amiss with Muchan. He doubted whether Muchan would succeed in mastering the dangerous Limitless Death Seal. The mark on Muchan's hand continued to emit a red aura, causing him discomfort. Qian attempted to intervene, but the librarian stopped her, explaining that Muchan needed to face this challenge as the Limitless Death Seal took over him. He must find a way to overcome it on his own. Muchan decided to employ the Great Pagoda art to unseal the Limitless Death Seal, but he quickly realized why it was classified as a dangerous spiritual art. Its stubborn and unyielding nature made it difficult to control. Eventually, Muchan unsealed the Limitless Death Arts and closed his eyes before admitting it was a formidable spiritual art. Qian grew increasingly worried about Muchan's safety and repeatedly asked if he was all right. Muchan reassured her that he was fine, but her anger flared at him for touching the dangerous seal, and she scolded him for his recklessness. Meanwhile, the librarian noticed that the seal was gone and accused Muchan of vandalism, threatening to fine him for his actions. Enraged by the librarian's accusations and interference, Qian whipped him and sent him flying through the roof for disturbing the peace of the library. As the tense situation unfolded, Hongling approached Muchan and mentioned Qian's violent tendencies. She urged him to join the Western Branch, implying that it offered a better path in life. However, before Hongling could say more, Qian used her whip to separate her from Muchan. Accusing Hongling of being a spy sent by the Western Branch to assess Muchan's abilities, Qian declared that the Eastern Branch would win the Northern Spiritual Plains Great Adventure this time. Muchan inquired about the Great Northern Spiritual Plains, a vast and treacherous land located northwest of the Northern Spiritual Realm, filled with opportunities and dangers. Qian explained that the plains had many ferocious spiritual beasts and countless unusual spiritual plants. It was also a haven for desperate criminals who lived by the cruel principle of survival of the fittest. Teacher Mo, addressing the Heaven-class qualified students participating in the Spiritual Plains adventure, revealed that they would be battling ferocious spiritual beasts to hunt for their soul essence. This experience would provide them real-life fighting encounters and be exclusively available to those qualified for the Heaven class. The top 3 groups with the best results in hunting spiritual beasts would receive a prized elixir of inner strength. Teacher Sashi emphasized 3 rules that must be followed during the adventure. Firstly, students were only allowed to venture around the outskirts of the Northern Spiritual Plains. Venturing deeper into the area was strictly forbidden. Secondly, the Northern Spiritual Plains became dangerous at night, and all participants must return to the base once darkness fell. Lastly, each group should comprise 3 members, and they were free to form their groups as they saw fit. Teacher Mo emphasized the importance of collecting the soul essences of the spiritual beasts they managed to hunt and kill, as these would determine the adventure's results. Upon request, Teacher Mo proudly displayed the soul essence he was refining, a golden wolf soul, which drew cheers from the other participants. Not to be outdone, Teacher Shi also revealed his beast soul in front of the eager participants. Observing the power of the 322nd-ranked beast souls, Qian couldn't help but wonder about the even more potent 100-ranked beast souls. Teacher Mo dismissed all the teams, officially commencing the Great Northern Spiritual Plains competition. Qian took charge and asked Muchan, Tan, and Liu Yang to follow her. Muchan couldn't resist taunting Liu Yang about his previous injuries, which sparked anger in Liu Yang. However, Liu Yang's companions intervened, preventing any escalation, and Liu Yang decided to let it go. Qian noticed the change in Liu Yang's demeanor and warned Muchan to be cautious about him, hinting that he might pose a threat. As they continued their adventure, Muchan realized that besides the ferocious spiritual beasts, there was another potential enemy in the form of Liu Yang. However, Hongling was also accompanying Liu Mubai. Liu Mubai, in his typical mocking manner, taunted Muchan, suggesting that this perilous place was a fitting location for a genius like him to meet his end. As Tan ran from a horde of spiritual beasts, Muchan's group patiently waited for the perfect moment to strike. On the count of 3, they all leaped into action, attacking the beasts with skill and precision. Qian led the charge, wielding her whip to fend off the pig-like spiritual beasts. She took down one of them quickly, boasting about her fighting prowess. However, Muchan was unfazed by her bravado, as she noticed many beasts lay dead behind him, a testament to his swift and efficient attacks. Qian overlooked his accomplishments despite his remarkable performance and turned her attention to Tan instead. She called Tan over and praised his work, asking him to close his eyes before gifting him a handmade item. With 5 spiritual beast soul essences collected, Tan believed they were well on their way to victory. Nevertheless, Muchan remained slightly concerned about facing Liu Mubai, knowing he was a formidable opponent. Meanwhile, the Liu brothers were scouting and spying on Muchan, eager to witness his true abilities. Liu Mubai ordered Liu Yang to stick with their teammates and closely monitor Muchan for the next few days. While Liu Mubai was occupied, he came across Hongling sitting on a rock. surrounded by the bodies of mighty spiritual beasts she had defeated. Liu Mubai explained that he was assisting his little brother, who was participating for the first time. However, Hong Ling appeared uninterested in his explanation, pulling him by his collar and clarifying that she had only formed a team with him to win. Liu Mubai assured her they would emerge victorious, determined to prove their worth in the competition. While enjoying their meal around a campfire, surrounded by the bodies of the defeated spiritual beasts, Qian praised Muchan for his cooking skills and asked where he had learned them. Muchan explained that he acquired those skills while on the spiritual road, where they had to fend for themselves to survive. If they didn't want to die, they had to learn to prepare their meals. Intrigued, Qian asked Muchan about his experiences on the spiritual road. Muchan described it as a treacherous place, tainted with blood, where trust was scarce. Yet paradoxically, it was a place where having someone you could trust was crucial for survival. He then recalled a moment from the past, where he had watched Lu Li fighting a horde of people. A ninja-like figure had attacked her, and Muchan had stepped in to defend her, questioning the fairness of attacking a girl outnumbered 5-1. The flashback continued, showing Muchan nursing an injured Lu Li, who could not walk. In her delirium, Lu Li had expressed her intention to kill Muchan once she recovered. This perplexed Muchan, wondering why she would want to harm him when he helped her. Lu Li clarified that she was starting to develop feelings for Muchan, which she despised as they distracted her from her training. Thus, she felt she had to eliminate him to rid herself of these emotions. In response, Muchan calmly offered to assist Lu Li until she recovered, giving her half a year to carry out her plan to kill him. However, he proposed that they should become a team if she failed to achieve her goal within that time. From the flashbacks, Tan inquired about what happened next and if Lu Li had attempted to kill Muchan. Muchan recounted that she had made numerous attempts to end his life during their time on the spiritual road. He then narrated a particular incident when Lu Li had succeeded in cornering him and had a sword against his neck, seemingly ready to strike. However, she couldn't follow through with the act for unknown reasons. Suddenly, an arrow came out of nowhere, and without hesitation, Muchan pushed Lu Li out of harm's way but got injured in the process. Overwhelmed with concern for him, Lu Li began to cry, fearing that she might not see him again and feeling the pain of that prospect. In response to Muchan's question about whether she still wanted to kill him, Lu Li tearfully reassured him that she had changed her mind. Instead, she pledged to be his strongest shield and sword, vowing to protect him on the spiritual road and beyond. At that moment, she also revealed her name to him. Returning from these intense memories, Muchan yelled about his promise to Lu Li. The next day, the group of old farts found themselves in a perilous situation as they encountered a bandit who demanded their belongings under the threat of death. Despite their refusal to surrender, the bandit attacked them, revealing an aura filled with killing intent and darkness. As the situation seemed dire, Qian's group arrived and swiftly stopped the bandit's aggression. Muchan could sense the intense aura of violence emanating from the bandit and requested Qian to step aside and let him handle the situation. The bandit lunged at Muchan, throwing his knives, but Muchan countered with his dark aura energy, which collided with his blade. The confrontation continued, and Muchan said he would prefer challenging the strong. The bandit charged at him, but Muchan used the Spirit Destruction Bead's power to launch a powerful attack, sending the bandit flying across the forest. Unexpectedly, another individual, Lei Cheng, stepped on the bandit's face and thanked Muchan for intervening, as the bandit had injured one of Lei Cheng's party members. Introducing himself as the captain of the domineering Thunder Exploration Party, Lei Cheng expressed admiration for Muchan's fighting skills and offered him some valuable gifts. However, Muchan humbly declined the assistance, stating that he had acted to save a friend and didn't need any rewards. Lei Cheng mentioned that he had intended to give him the Heavenly Jade Tree, a precious item hidden deep within the forest. Qian urged Muchan to accept the gift, emphasizing the rarity and potency of the Heavenly Jade Tree. She explained that the tree only blossomed once every half-century, took another half-century to bear fruits, and yet another half-century for those fruits to ripen. The fruits were renowned for their abundant nourishment and energy, and she assured Muchan that they tasted exquisite. Convinced by Qian's swords, Muchan agreed to accompany Lei Cheng to the location of the Heavenly Jade Tree. However, Lei warned them about the formidable guardians protecting the tree, especially the Fiery Ape King, a mid-rank spiritual beast surpassing his strength level. Muchan couldn't help but feel suspicious about Lei's intentions, wondering if there was more to the plan than met the eye. Tan and Qian, hearing about the formidable Fiery Ape King, expressed fear and trepidation at the thought of facing such a powerful adversary. However, Muchan suddenly recalled an alternative plan and informed Lei Cheng that he had a different idea. He suspected Lei intended for Muchan to use the necklace's power to attack the Fiery Ape King. Muchan pointed out that the necklace's abilities were limited, and using it came at a high cost, draining the user's life force each time. Muchan confronted Lei Cheng, questioning how he intended to split the burden of the life force required for such an attack. The negotiations resulted in an agreement, with Muchan's group receiving 50% of the benefit and Lei Cheng's group taking 50%. Preparations were made as they all hid in the bushes, ready to ambush the Fiery Ape King. Lei Cheng's group had their hypnosis squad equipped with enchantment bullets, and the suicide squad was prepared to control the Fiery Ape King, even at the risk of their lives. The cleaning squad's role was to clear the area of lesser beasts swiftly. Meanwhile, Qian, Tan, and the old farts formed the support squad and stayed uninvolved to preserve their lives. Muchan joined the slaying squad, ready to take on the Fiery Ape King directly. Upon Liu's command, the hypnosis squad attacked the apes using secret art spiral pellets, releasing a suffocating smoke that affected the surrounding apes. It was Muchan's turn, and Lei was happy that the Ape King was not here, making it an easy steal. As Muchan defeated some apes, he felt a presence behind him and warned everyone to be careful. Suddenly, the King of the Apes appeared, leaping through the air and landing with a powerful impact that sent shockwaves through the ground. As he gazed upon his fallen ape companions, anger coursed through him, unleashing energy. Lei told Muchan to take control after they bait him, and Muchan assured him. Lei charged with his companions in an all-out battle with the Ape King, but its skin was too harsh for their blades to pierce through. Lei ordered to prepare the finishing blow while the Ape King also charged his move. The final blow was dealt by creating a magic circle beneath the Ape King, causing him to become paralyzed. Lei attempted to deliver the finishing blow with his aura blade but was blocked. However, he managed to hold the edge in place while urging Muchan to have the final strike. Muchan attacked the Fiery Ape King with determination, unleashing a powerful strike that created a hole in its chest and appeared to send it flying and then crashing to the ground. Finally dead. Muchan's strength took Lei aback. The sound of celebratory cheers filled the atmosphere as people crowded around Muchan to offer their congratulations. However, amid the commotion, Muchan noticed that the ape's hand was still moving, and to his shock, the Fiery Ape King had advanced in rank and became stronger. The beast's newfound strength and anger sent it into a rampage, and it started chasing after Muchan, Lei, and their companions. Tan fell to the ground in the chaos, and the Fiery Ape King aimed a deadly punch at him. Just in time, a blue energy shield protected Tan from harm, courtesy of Muchan's quick thinking. However, the interference only enraged the Fiery Ape King further, unleashing waves of anger and aura. Muchan decided to act as a decoy, luring the ape away from his friends while ordering them to pick the heavenly jade fruits and escape. Lei offered to help but was thrown aside by the ape's attack, leaving Muchan alone to take on the dangerous task. Qian. While Muchan lured the Fiery Ape King away, Lei and the others seized the opportunity to gather the precious fruits. Muchan continued to skillfully bait and taunt the Fiery Ape King, marveling at its surprising speed despite its hefty size. The ape retaliated by throwing rocks at him, but Muchan's agility allowed him to dodge and mock the ape for its failed attempts. However, the Fiery Ape King was relentless and threw another rock with even greater force, narrowly missing Muchan. Amid their confrontation, Muchan noticed another creature approaching them. It was the horned draconic panther, a high-ranked beast that had become the new target of the Fiery Ape King. Muchan couldn't help but feel astonished when the ape proved to be a formidable opponent, managing to overpower and defeat the panther, throwing it forcefully into a nearby tree. The tree shattered and collapsed onto Muchan, temporarily knocking him down. When he regained his senses, Qian saw that the horned draconic panther had succumbed to its injuries, leaving Muchan alone to face the wrathful Fiery Ape King. With no escape route, Muchan steeled himself for the imminent battle with the mighty beast. As the Fiery Ape King smashed his fists on the ground, Muchan sprang into action and lunged at the ape with a knife. However, the ape quickly counterattacked, but Muchan skillfully dodged the blow. Determined to end the battle, Muchan began to charge up the Limitless Death Seal attack, but he noticed the Ape King showing signs of fear. Suddenly, the silver-horned draconic panther appeared from behind, the mother of the fiery ape the king had killed earlier. The silver-horned draconic panther launched a fierce assault on the Ape King, slashing him with precision and force, ultimately ending his life. The draconic panther then went to her deceased son and mourned over him in agony and sadness before leaving the scene, leaving Muchan behind, feeling somber from the emotional encounter. Meanwhile, the rest of the group gathered the heavenly jade fruits, but the rain started to pour, stirring the dead apes from their slumber. The old fart shielded Qian, who was worried about Muchan's safety. Qian urged the old fart to either lead the way or attack the apes if he dared. Lei swiftly ordered everyone to prepare for a battle to protect one another. The situation became intense and chaotic as they engaged in combat against the awakened apes. Suddenly, the apes shifted their focus to something else. It was Muchan holding the soul essence of their deceased king. Amidst the celebration and admiration for Muchan's feat of having King Ape's soul essence, Lei was shocked to see the body of the King Ape along with Qian and Tan. Muchan arrived just in time, causing the apes to stop fighting and run away. Lei was relieved and grateful for their rescue, and he hugged Muchan in appreciation. Tan was also overjoyed, but Qian remained her usual self, angry and worried about Muchan's safety. Muchan was filled with pride as he basked in the glory of his victory. The crowd looked up to him as their hero and idol, lifting him in celebration. Muchan appeared delighted by the adoration. In another part of the jungle, a participant found a beautiful lady lying on the ground, seemingly distressed and seeking help, claiming that bad guys were after her. The participant tried to assist her, but little did he know that she was a vampire in disguise. The lady suddenly revealed her true nature and bit his neck, draining his blood. She contemplated how the Northern Spiritual Academy had many students, giving her an ample blood supply. She also mentioned that her wound resulted from encountering the Liu family, particularly the third master, Liu Ming, who sought revenge as she stole something from them. The vampiress possessed a unique skill that allowed her to recover from severe wounds by replenishing herself with a large amount of blood from a tonic. Meanwhile, one of her pursuers suggested informing the nearby Northern Spiritual Academy about the vampire danger, but Liu Ming insisted that Liu Mubai handle the situation. Liu Mubai, however, dismissed the idea of informing the academy, suggesting instead that they take advantage of the situation. He knew someone heading in the same direction as the vampiress, Simone, and suggested that they kill two birds with one stone, eliminating both the vampiress and Muchan in one fell swoop. Meanwhile, Muchan and his gang found themselves trapped in a cave during the night due to the rain. While some members, including Qian, were more interested in the heavenly jade fruits they had gathered, Muchan distributed them evenly, keeping some for himself. He then revealed to Qian his decision to form the second Death Seal, explaining that it would double the power of the Limitless Death Seal, but also increase the danger of receiving a backlash. Despite the risks, Muchan was determined to form the second seal and asked for Qian's trust and support. Additionally, the hazards in spiritual realms extended beyond wild animals, as he was specifically thinking about the Liu clan. With the help of his nakama, he consumed the jade fruit, but the sheer intensity of its energy was almost overwhelming. Sitting down, he appeared reminiscent of an asura with 10 arms. With the abundant spiritual energy provided by the heavenly jade fruits, Muchan started summoning the limitless Death Seal energy, its power filling the cave and affecting everyone present. Despite feeling a sharp pain in his hand as a backlash, Muchan persevered and successfully formed the second seal. The Death Seal energy continued to gather around and within him, and he experienced the familiar sensation of the mysterious spiritual pulses. A mark on his hand appeared, confirming the success of the second form. Unexpectedly, Muchan unleashed the dragon flame energy, causing the energy levels to skyrocket. It was the backlash from the Death Seal, and he was too careless with the formation. If this continued, his energy reserve would be destroyed, and he could not go any further. At that moment, he remembered all his close family members and the promise he had made. With great effort, Muchan managed to stop the Death Seal energy. Once again, a golden dragon emerged, just as it had in the past. Then, an enigmatic spiritual energy disrupted the magic circle, unleashing the creature's power. At last, Muchan could halt the deadly seal, and a purple aura materialized in his hand. Qian approached him, concerned about his well-being, but Muchan fell into a deep sleep. The intense energy surge shook the cave, causing it to collapse. The group left the cave, carrying the injured Muchan, just as the rain stopped. Qian was still angry at Muchan as they took him back to the camp. However, Tan was happy to help, and considered it an honor to take Muchan. While they waited for the other members, an old fart member, Jiang Li, went missing. The leader of the old fart group ordered him to be searched for. Meanwhile, the vampiress had seized Jiang Li from behind, capturing him. Back at the camp, Qian and Tan heard rustling in the bushes. Alert and defensive, Qian demanded the person to reveal themselves. However, they discovered the blood-sucked body of Jiang Li instead, with the vampiress lurking behind him. The vampiress then grabbed Tan, intending to taste his blood, but Qian swiftly intervened, using her whip to separate them. Qian demanded to know what the vampiress wanted from them, and the vampiress, impressed by Qian's speed and strength, briefly threatened her from behind. Amid the confrontation, Tan tried to attack the vampiress but missed, and she retaliated with a kick to his stomach. She then proceeded to assault Qian. Just as the situation appeared dire, a beam of energy struck the vampiress from behind. Muchan had recovered and joined the fray. Muchan playfully complained to the vampiress that she didn't address him as beautiful, as she did with everyone else. The vampiress seemed to delight in being injured and became more determined for revenge. Muchan admitted that the difference in their strength was too significant, and he never considered escaping. However, he proposed a deal that might pique her interest. Muchan revealed that he knew she fed on fresh blood to replenish her spiritual energy, making her the infamous vampiress. Instead of offering their blood, he offered her the heavenly jade fruits they had taken from the forest. The vampiress retorted that she had already captured the fruits and had them in her possession. Undeterred, Muchan proposed something even more enticing, a heavenly jade tree. He pointed out that the vampiress was injured and had made mere students like them her first target, indicating that she must have offended a powerful force that had now surrounded her. With the heavenly jade tree, she could rapidly replenish her strength and use it to eliminate those who were after her. The vampiress seemed impressed by Muchan's offer and warned him they wouldn't leave the northern plains alive if he were lying. Muchan assured her he was telling the truth and agreed to lead her to the heavenly jade tree. The rest of the gang stayed behind as Muchan and the vampiress ran toward the tree's location. On their way, they passed by where the Ape King died, and Muchan showed the vampiress a bottle filled with high-rank spiritual beast blood. He explained that they used this blood to scare away the ape and offered it to her to apply on themselves for camouflage. However, as Muchan handed her the blood, the vampiress suddenly pushed him away, indicating that she no longer needed his company now that she knew the location of the jade tree. Without hesitation, the vampiress poured all the blood on herself and attacked Muchan with her energy, sending him flying and crashing into a tree. Despite being struck, Muchan seemed pleased and revealed to the vampiress that the blood she poured on herself was from the baby Silverhorn Draconic Panther, and she was now in the territory of the formidable Great Silverhorn Draconic Panther. Suddenly, the Silverhorn Draconic Panther pounced on the vampiress, attacking her fiercely. Seizing the opportunity in the chaos, Muchan managed to escape and leave the vampiress to deal with the enraged Silverhorn Draconic Panther. The Silverhorn Draconic Panther continued to lunge and attack the vampiress, but she managed to jump and escape. Filled with anger and seeking revenge against Muchan, she started walking away. However, as she moved, someone attacked her from behind, who was Muchan. Muchan swiftly took down the vampiress and activated the second seal of the Limitless death seal on her. Back with Qian and the group, they were worried about Muchan's safety and felt responsible for not being strong enough to protect him in this critical moment. But to their relief, Muchan soon arrived, assuring them that the vampiress could no longer harm anyone. Meanwhile, other participants in the plains discovered the vampiress's body and noticed multiple wounds, some inflicted by a man and others by a high-rank spiritual beast. They informed Liu Ming about the situation, mentioning the missing item he had requested. Liu Ming became angry about the missing map the vampiress stole from them. Leo Mubai tried to calm him down, stating that the map couldn't run away independently and was likely in someone else's possession. He assured Liu Ming that they would find it. However, Liu Ming blamed Leo Mubai's plan for causing the mess and worried about how they would explain the situation to their father if they failed to retrieve the stolen map. But Liu Ming assured him that if anything were to happen, he would admit his error and receive the punishment instead. After hearing about the announcement, Qian and Muchan's group gathered at the campsite. Qian exited her tent to find people gathering and asked them what was happening. They informed her that Teacher Mo and Teacher Shi were making an announcement, so she informed Muchan, and they headed there. During the announcement, Teacher Mo revealed that 2 missing students had been killed, and this news angered and worried the crowd. He explained that the culprit behind the killings was the notorious thief, the vampiress. The revelation of the vampiress's presence made everyone even more concerned, and they demanded that the teachers take action. To calm the crowd, Teacher Shi assured them that the Liu family had taken care of the vampiress and she had been eliminated. Qian became furious upon hearing this, but Muchan managed to silence her. Teacher Shi then announced that the item the vampiress stole was still missing, and whoever found it would receive a generous reward from the Liu family. Muchan wondered about the incredible value of the item for the Liu family to be so desperate. At night, at the campsite, Qian entered Muchan's camp, which infuriated him. She demanded that Muchan hand over the stolen item he took from the vampiress. Muchan confessed that he never saw anything related to what the Liu family lost, and he obtained the item as loot from a boss he defeated in the wilderness, considering it rightfully his. Muchan decided to show Qian some magic and used his wrist to summon a multitude of jewels, presenting her with a mustard seed bangle. He told her that she could have all the jewels if she wanted. However, amidst the jewels, Muchan found a bronze slab intricately carved with outlines in gold and jewels. As he picked up the bronze slab, a powerful surge of energy was unleashed, summoning a large purple phoenix bird aura above him. The bird was the Nether Sparrow, born in the northern underworld with wings that eclipsed mountains and darkness that devoured the sun and moon. The Nether Sparrow was ranked 11th in the spiritual beast ranking, and the bronze slab that Muchan found was the map leading to this celestial beast. Now, Muchan finally understood why the Liu family was so worried about this item. However, he was intrigued about why the Liu family needed the map when they needed more strength to capture the Nether Sparrow. Qian appeared and asked Muchan what happened. Muchan inquired if she had seen what transpired, and she responded that she had seen nothing. Muchan contemplated that the bronze piece was incredibly peculiar and brought it back to his father to examine it further. While playing with the gold and jewels, Qian asked Muchan if they belonged to her. Muchan then showed her the mustard seed bracelet, explaining that it could store limitless items and was considered the most valuable prize they had acquired. He also hinted that something else might be helpful for them. Teacher Mo gathered all the participants and officially announced the end of the Northern Spiritual Expedition. He proceeded to declare the top 3 groups. Muchan was hopeful to be in first place, while Qian anticipated receiving the elixir of inner strength. The counter turned to Qian's group and requested their gathered soul essence. Qian confidently presented the soul essence of 35 low-ranked spiritual beasts in the middle phase and 15 low-ranked spiritual beasts' soul essence in the advanced stage, unique to everyone present. The sight of the Fiery Ape King's soul essence remarkably astonished the participants, including the Liu gang. The Liu family accused Muchan of cheating. Still, he quickly defended himself by providing old fart Lei Cheng's party as witnesses, and they confirmed that Muchan had rightfully obtained the Fiery Ape King's soul essence. The Liu family then showcased their collection of soul essence, including advanced spiritual soul essence. Not to be outdone, Muchan revealed his next surprise by producing 5 mid-rank spiritual beasts' soul essence, leaving everyone in awe and shock. Muchan couldn't resist taunting Liu Mubai, stating that he conveniently stumbled upon 5 injured spiritual beasts to boost his collection. However, Teacher Mo intervened and reminded them that the competition was not about luck, but honor and skill. He asked if other groups could rival Muchan and Liu Mubai's teams. Teacher Mo finally announced a first-place tie between Muchan and Liu Mubai's groups. He also informed them that everyone would be given a 3-day break after the training ended. Liu Yang, a member of Liu Mubai's group, told him the vampiress's belongings might be with Muchan since he obtained her mid-rank spiritual beast soul essences. Qian asked Muchan about his plans for the break, wondering if he would return to the academy or go home. Muchan revealed that he would visit his home during the 3-day break. Muchan greeted the locals and his fellow Mu clan members in his hometown. Suddenly, the weather took a turn, and it started to rain. Muchan sensed a presence and looked behind to see a girl holding an umbrella. He introduced her as Ji Zong, mentioning that she was paid for this job. Ji Zong demanded that Muchan cooperate and hand over the items. Muchan recognized her as famous as the infamous vampiress and a rank 1 spirit enhancer. He confronted him, questioning his audacity to attack him in his territory. Ji Zong retaliated by launching a spiritual rain enchantment attack at Muchan. Ji Zong boasted that Muchan had no chance against her since nobody outside could sense what happened in that dimension. She continued to mock Muchan, claiming he was destined for a lonely and sorrowful death, and that there was no point in fighting back. As Ji Zong attacked with rain energy, Muchan countered and dodged, realizing he couldn't keep defending forever. Knowing that Ji Zong was only a rank 1 spirit enhancer, Muchan decided to go on the offensive. He saw an opportunity to attack Ji Zong with a powerful punch, but Ji Zong created rain illusions to deceive him. Now facing 3 Ji Zongs, 2 of them being illusions, Muchan had to identify the real one. He managed to locate the true Ji Zong and prepared to strike, but Ji Zong countered with another rain energy attack. Muchan barely survived, but he stayed determined. Muchan tricked Ji Zong by making him believe defeating her would break the enchantment. However, Muchan had been looking for the critical item that Ji Zong used to control the rain enchantment. He threw a dagger at Ji Zong, shattering her umbrella and breaking the magic, causing the rain to stop. Suddenly, the Mu clan locals arrived on the scene, concerned about Muchan's well-being after witnessing the fight with the assassin, Ji Zong. Seeing the interruption, Jizong decided to leave the area and tossed a card at Muchan. The card stated that Jizong was a talented spirit enhancer who accepted various jobs, including assassination, revenge, robbery, and even picking up women in training. Muchan was amazed by the versatility of Jizong's skills. Amid this, Muchan's servant Uncle Joe arrived, worried about Muchan's safety. He confirmed that Muchan was all right and revealed that Qian had sent him a letter, causing concern. Muchan needed clarification and asked about the contents of the letter. Uncle Joe read the letter, stating that Qian wrote that Muchan had fallen out with the Liu family over a beautiful woman and was now in mortal danger, urgently needing help. Muchan was frustrated upon hearing this false information. As they walked towards Mu Mansion, Uncle Joe asked Muchan to tell him everything. At the mansion, Muchan noticed a decorative banner at the front door, celebrating our young master's first love, which further fueled his anger. Inside, Muchan's father talked to his late wife's picture, expressing joy that Muchan had apparently fallen in love at this age and that they might become grandparents soon. When Muchan arrived, he was furious and rebuked his father for offering incense to his mother, who was not even dead yet. Muchan's father explained that it used to be his mother's favorite lavender incense, and this was lavender that he saw in the crackpot. He hugged Muchan, urging him to celebrate his first love together. Muchan was upset with the situation and explained to his father that the Liu family hired Jizong to assassinate him because of the item he possessed. He handed the bronze slab to his father, who held it and opened a scorching dragonbird soul essence in his other hand. The soul essence of the dragonbird sat on Muchan's father's shoulder. Amazing Muchan! He observed that the soul essence of his father's scorching dragonbird had grown more intelligent. His father agreed, acknowledging that there was no doubt about it, and he believed that the slab must be the map to seek the 9 Nether Sparrows. Otherwise, the scorching dragonbird wouldn't be so intimidated by it. Muchan added that even with the strength of their entire clan, the Liu family was no match for the 9 Nether Sparrow. Muchan's father revealed that there was more to the bronze slab. He showed Muchan a place with a solid dark aura, which contained the evolution path of the 9 Nether Sparrows. He explained that this place was the Abyssal Underworld in the northern spiritual realm. The following morning, Leo Mubai received a letter from Jizong apologizing for messing up the assassination. Jizong returned the deposit and canceled the job. The letter from Jizong made Leo Mubai furious. Liu Yang asked Mubai what they should do now, to which Mubai replied that they shouldn't hurry because the 9 Nether Sparrow was in the Abyssal Underworld, and they were gathering an army to enter that realm. At Mu Mansion, Muchan's father told him that the 9 Nether Sparrows had failed to evolve and had been severely weakened, making it the perfect time to hunt its soul essence. He explained that the growing ambition of the Liu territory to conquer the northern spiritual realm had led to significant conflicts with smaller parts, with only the Mu territory remaining as their most significant obstacle. Muchan's father emphasized that if Liu Qingtian were to obtain the soul essence of the 9 Nether Sparrows, the Mu territory would be in grave danger. However, he was pleased that Muchan now possessed the map, and saw this as an opportunity to settle the feud with the Liu family. He ordered their servant Zhou to assemble the elites of the Mu family, and this time it was a do-or-die situation for them. Muchan asked his father for guidance, concerned about what he should do. His father insisted they wouldn't go without him, and mentioned that they would need 5 to 6 days to prepare and gather everyone. Muchan's father urged him to learn more about spiritual enchantments during this time. Muchan argued that he could do that when they returned, but his father stressed that time was precious, so he should start learning immediately. He even proposed a deal that if Muchan's teachers were unsatisfied with his progress, they would give up on the Abyssal Underworld expedition. Muchan enthusiastically agreed to study spiritual enchantments and began training under Teacher Wen's guidance. Impressed by Muchan's politeness, Teacher Wen took on the duty of teaching him, as appointed by Muchan's father. Their training started with Teacher Wen asking Muchan about his understanding of spiritual enchantments. Muchan confidently answered that spiritual enchantments involved using specific skills to manipulate the energies of heaven and earth in various ways. Pleased with his response, Teacher Wen demonstrated a skill called resonance. Teacher Wen explained that 2 things were required to manipulate the energies with resonance: a spirit seal and a higher enhancement level. She also emphasized that controlling resonance became increasingly challenging with higher enhancement levels. Teacher Wen, being a rank 1 spiritual enhancer, revealed that she could hold up to 20 spirit seals at most. However, she mentioned that this was only level 1 of the skill, and she had heard that rank 5 spiritual enhancers could easily control hundreds and even thousands of spirit seals. Excited and eager to learn, Muchan expressed his enthusiasm for the enchantment and his readiness to dive into the training. Teacher Wen smiled, seeing Muchan's determination, and assured him she would do her best to guide him through the complexities of spiritual enchantments. Teacher Wen began teaching Muchan the art of forming spirit seals and gave him the task of creating a successful spirit seal within 1 hour. She believed in Muchan's abilities and left him to his practice. Muchan's father, observing the training, voiced concern that an hour might be too much to ask from his son. However, Teacher Wen remained confident in Muchan's potential. Meanwhile, Teacher Wen requested the Level 4 Spirit Circle scroll from Muchan's father, which was promised to her by Muchan's mother before her passing. Muchan's mother, who was also Teacher Wen's sister, left the scroll behind. As Muchan practiced forming the spirit seals, he demonstrated remarkable progress and successfully created 5 seals. Astonished by his rapid learning, Muchan questioned if he had made any mistakes, considering how rare and difficult it was to summon 5 spirit seals at once. Teacher Wen assured him that his talent was the reason for his success, and there was no need to worry about any mistakes. Teacher Wen proceeded to introduce the second key element of spiritual enchantments, known as spirit circles. She explained that if spirit seals were the cornerstone of spiritual enhancements, spirit circles were the blueprints, and one could not do without either. Muchan mentioned that he was aware of this fact, recalling a past incident 16 years ago when someone attacked the northern spiritual realm with a level 3 spirit circle scroll, causing widespread devastation. Teacher Wen elaborated that spirit circles could be sorted into 10 levels. Whenever a scroll containing a high-level spirit circle emerged, spiritual enchanters would go to great lengths to obtain it. The knowledge of spirit circles was crucial for mastering spiritual enhancements. Teacher Wen unveiled a level 4 spirit circle scroll and demonstrated its power to Muchan, giving him a sense of its immense energy. She explained that even the most accomplished spirit enhancers in the northern spiritual realm were only rank 1 enchanter, emphasizing the significance of the knowledge she was imparting to him. With a pile of scrolls in hand, Teacher Wen assigned Muchan the task of browsing through and memorizing each one, which left him overwhelmed and frustrated. However, Muchan's father received urgent news, and he was called to lead an operation personally, seeking revenge for the family. Teacher Wen was with Muchan at night, witnessing his study dedication. However, she soon discovered he had been sleeping in his room instead of checking the scrolls she had assigned. She woke him up and confronted him about his lack of focus on homework. Muchan admitted that he preferred a more hands-on learning approach rather than memorizing scrolls. In response to his learning style, Teacher Wen challenged Muchan to design a basic spirit enchantment for beginners in just 15 minutes. Unfazed, Muchan quickly came up with an ice frost enchantment, which impressed both his father and Teacher Wen. Muchan explained that he tried to simplify the ice frost enchantment by using a few spirit seals to reduce its duration and power, making it more practical for combat. Muchan then asked Teacher Wen if he had passed the test, to which she replied with a smile that he had indeed passed with full marks, bringing happiness to Muchan. However, she advised him not to be complacent, as he had only just begun his journey of spirit enchantment, and there were many geniuses better than him out there. Muchan responded by mentioning Teacher Wen's sister Jing, surprising both his father and Teacher Wen, as they had hidden this truth from him. Unbeknownst to them, Muchan overheard their conversation at the training ground. Muchan became agitated, holding a whip, and demanded answers from his father and Teacher Wen. Teacher Wen decided to leave the place swiftly, bidding farewell to Muchan's father. Now alone with his father, Muchan insisted on knowing everything they had been hiding from him. He wanted to start with the reason for the mysterious spirit pulse in his body whenever he was in danger. Muchan's father revealed that he was born with a spirit pulse inside his body, but it was never detected because his mother sealed it shortly after he was born. His mother sacrificed her blood to fill his spirit pulses, protecting him from potential disasters. Muchan's father continued, explaining that Emperor Yuan and Founder Wu, renowned figures in the northern spiritual realm, possessed exceptional talents. He believed Muchan also had similar potential and the passion and determination to succeed. Muchan's mother had sealed the spirit pulse, hoping he would grow up to unlock its true power. The key to breaking the seal lay within the great Pagoda arts. Muchan's mother had left him a clue that the seal would naturally be broken once he mastered the highest level, the changing Pagoda. However, his father warned him to only tamper with the seal once he gained enough power to protect himself. Outside the Mu mansion, the elites were gathered, ready to face the Leo family. Muchan's father addressed them, expressing their resolve to stand up to Leo's provocations. Muchan understood that the time had come to confront the Abyssal Underworld. where they would face the 9 Nether Sparrow and the dangerous Liu family. In the treacherous Abyssal Underworld, Muchan and his 2 companions faced countless dangers, with giant beasts preying on smaller ones. As they attempted to cross a river infested with dragons, Muchan displayed incredible agility, leaping from one dragon to another to make their way across. Their journey took them to the territory of Rukin Town, where they encountered a swarm of soul-devouring bees. Duan Wei, one of Muchan's companions, suggested luring the bees away as a diversion, but Muchan refused to put his friend at risk. Duan Wei insisted that it was his duty to protect Muchan, as assigned by his father. Seeking a safer route, they found a stream of water and submerged themselves to escape the bees' pursuit successfully. Once the danger passed, Muchan sensed that something was amiss. He deduced that someone was controlling the swarm of bees with music and was determined to investigate. Muchan and his companions moved nimbly from tree to tree, following the source of the bees' control. They soon came across a tree where all the bees were gathered, seemingly protecting a hive. Muchan's curiosity was piqued, but Duan Wei cautioned against approaching the pack as it could be dangerous. However, Muchan felt compelled to find out who controlled the bees. It could be the Liu family or another force searching for the 9 Nether Sparrow. Duan Wei reluctantly asked to divert the bees' attention. He bravely volunteered to be the bait, drawing them away from the hive. Muchan intervened just in time, stopping Duan Wei from sacrificing himself. Instead, Muchan carefully observed the situation and planned his attack. He spotted a man wearing a cap on top of a hut, seemingly playing the flute to control the bees. However, when Muchan attacked the man, he discovered it was merely a corpse in a cape holding the flute. Curiously, he noticed some writing on the wood near the corpse's body. The inscription revealed that the corpse's name was Tian Chong, a member of the Spirit Bug clan. Tian Chong had ventured into the Abyssal Underworld, following the traces of the 9 Nether Sparrow, driven by greed. However, the writing ended abruptly, leaving Muchan with unanswered questions. Recalling Lu Li's explanation from the spiritual road, Muchan remembered that various races existed in the Abyssal Underworld, and the Spirit Bug clan possessed the unique ability to command insects. Muchan decided to examine the flute closely, but as he touched it, the corpse split in half. Hidden within the corpse was a bottle emitting a fragrance that attracted the bees. Muchan cautiously opened the bottle, releasing the scent into the air, drawing the bees away from the hive and towards the smell. Muchan swiftly unleashed the Spirit Enchantment Fireball Barrage, engulfing the tree where the pack was located and incinerating it with the attacking demons. However, his focus was interrupted when a sudden attack struck him from behind. It was Liu Mubai, who had also come to investigate the source of the mysterious sound that summoned the demons. Liu Mubai demanded that Muchan hand over the fragrance, but Muchan taunted him, refusing to comply. This sparked a fierce battle between the 2 rivals. Muchan initiated the powerful Infernal Death Seal attack, while Liu Mubai responded with the equally formidable Firehawk Inferno attack. The collision of their attacks generated a tremendous energy surge, leaving both of them visibly astonished by the other's true power. Amidst the intense battle, Liu Mubai declared that they were also seeking the 9 Nether Sparrow, and that this time, it would belong to them. Undeterred, Muchan firmly replied that he would not be swayed by Liu Mubai's ambitions and prepared to retaliate with an Ice Frost enchantment attack. Muchan's attack succeeded in temporarily freezing Liu Mubai in place, which allowed him to follow up with a double Infernal Death Seal attack. However, Liu Mubai managed to break free from the ice and, in a show of strength, countered with his own Firehawk eruption, blocking Muchan's assault. The battle reached a brief impasse as both combatants landed, and Muchan boldly declared that the confrontation had ended in a draw. Just as the tension settled, reinforcements surrounded the area from both sides. After Leo Mubai departed from the fight, claiming he was off to search for the 9 Nether Sparrow, Muchan's father faced his challenges in the Abyssal Underworld. His people fell sick due to the noxious miasma from the poison black swamp. Despite the difficulties, Muchan's father urged his men to press on without detour, as a lengthy diversion would allow Liu to reach the 9 Nether Sparrow first. Muchan devised a plan to overcome the swamp's dangers as they contemplated their options. He confidently proposed using the dark, toxic alligators, which inhabited the treacherous waters, to cross the swamp. Though his father warned him of the perilous conditions, Muchan remained undeterred, determined to prove the effectiveness of his idea. With his father's cautious approval, Muchan's excitement grew. He urged his father and Uncle Joe to employ their skills to capture a few of the dark, toxic alligators. Empowered by their energy and spirit power, Muchan's father and Uncle Joe secured 3 creatures. The other companions of the Mu clan were genuinely astonished by their leader's power and skill, and they cheered him on as they rode the alligators through the treacherous swamp. On the opposite side, Leo observed the surge of energy emanating from Muchan's father and Uncle Joe as they used their spiritual spells. He believed that crossing the swamp wouldn't be easy for them and was confident in his prepared trap. As Muchan's group continued their journey, Duan Wei warned Muchan about approaching dark, toxic alligators, but Muchan remained composed. He skillfully used a spirit enchantment to make the alligators forget their aggression, diverting their attention. Muchan's father praised him for his ingenuity, though Muchan playfully mocked him, reminding him of the time he struggled to learn enchantments from Muchan's mother. Their travels led them to a lava fall deep within the Abyssal Underworld, where countless high-level beasts dwelled. Muchan's father declared they must not kill any beasts, as even a little blood could attract more. He emphasized that these high-level beasts were as powerful as fighters in the soul-breaking stage, and encountering even a few would spell great danger. As they cautiously proceeded, Muchan's group unexpectedly came face-to-face with Liu's group, who had secured a higher ground position. Muchan's father demanded an explanation from Liu Qing, who smugly replied that he was merely presenting them with grand gifts. As Liu's people threw pots filled with the blood of the beasts, the scent attracted high-level beasts toward the Mu family, putting them in a dangerous predicament. Liu Qing taunted them, revealing that their intention to obtain the 9 Nether Sparrow had been a long-standing plan, and they wouldn't allow the Mu family to acquire it quickly. After his taunts, Liu left, leaving the Mu family surrounded by 3 formidable high-level beasts. Some Mu clan members suggested retreating, but Muchan's father insisted they stand together and face the threat head-on. He took on the water-fire crane and black iron beast, while Duan Wei expressed concern about the danger. However, Muchan's father was resolute, stating there was no time for hesitation. Amidst the perilous situation, Muchan proposed a plan. He and the 3 beasts leaped into action simultaneously. Muchan combined a potion with his spells, releasing a powerful energy that made the beasts drowsy. He then took out his flute and played a captivating melody. The purple-winged lion tried to attack him, but Muchan skillfully evaded the beast's attack and employed his spirit enchantments against it, hoping the plan would work in the Mu family's favor. However, the situation suddenly turned as a swarm of soul-devouring bees descended from the sky. Muchan's father organized his people for defense against the soul-devouring bees, but to their surprise, the bees ignored them and instead attacked the 3 high-level beasts. Muchan revealed that the potion he used emitted a scent that attracted the soul-devouring bees, and in their eyes, the high-level beasts became a tempting feast. Everyone was impressed by Muchan's ingenuity and quick thinking. As the bees finished their dinner and departed, all that remained were the skeletons of the once formidable beasts. Muchan's strength and resourcefulness had once again saved the day. His father embraced him, expressing concern for his well-being, to which Muchan confidently assured him that nothing wrong would happen and that he would reunite their family one day. Meanwhile, the Liu family had reached the deepest part of the Abyssal Underworld, where the 9 Nether Sparrow was last sighted. Liu Mubai asked his father if the 9 Nether Sparrow was in the volcano ahead. The Liu family was delighted, thinking the beasts had devoured the Mu family. However, to their surprise, Muchan arrived alive and well with the Mu clan. Liu Qing was shocked and taken aback by this unexpected turn of events. Muchan confidently showed them the soul essence of the beasts they encountered, thanking Uncle Liu for such high-level gifts. Muchan's father challenged Liu Qing to a fight with honor. The 2 powerful spirit enchanters clashed, using dragon bird and beast soul essences, respectively. Their confrontation created a strong and dense energy surge. As they both dropped to the ground, they seemed to enjoy the exhilaration of the battle, but also bore slight wounds from it. Amid clan warfare, Leo Mubai joined the fight and faced Duan as his opponent. The struggle between the Liu and Mu clans intensified. Meanwhile, Muchan and Liu Yang attempted to avoid the conflict and continue their search for the 9 Nether Sparrow. They stumbled upon a freshly scorched trail left by the Sparrow, confirming the location marked on the slab map. Muchan asked Liu if they were going to keep fighting. Liu proposed that they split up, and whoever had more luck finding the 9 Nether Sparrow would be the winner, with the loser prohibited from complaining. They agreed to this deal, and Muchan ventured alone while Liu took his path. As Muchan contemplated the Sparrow's current location and where it might be hiding, he examined the map for more clues. To his surprise, he felt a sensation of heat, realizing that the old bronze slab was not just a map, but also responded to the exact location of the Sparrow. He deduced that the 9 Nether Sparrow must be inside the rock beside him. Using his power, Muchan opened the rock and revealed the Sparrow's egg, the result of the Sparrow's failed attempt to evolve. However, just as he grabbed the egg, Leo arrived and tried to snatch it from him. They chased, each trying to get their hands on the 9 Nether Sparrow's egg, but the egg kept evading them. As the egg rose in the air, other Mu and Liu clan members noticed it, and both Muchan's father and Liu Qing joined the race to obtain it. At that moment, Muchan remembered the writing beside the corpse, warning that anyone who touched the egg would be consumed by hate. He urgently shouted to his father, warning him not to touch the egg. Meanwhile, Liu Qing reached for the egg and seized it, but to his dismay, it began to absorb his spirit power, weakening him. The egg remained attached to Liu Qing's hand, causing worry among the Liu clan about their master's safety. Suddenly, the egg detached itself from Liu Qing's hand, and the bird inside it began to release powerful energy surges and move erratically. This unexpected turn of events baffled the Mu and Liu families. As the 9 Nether Sparrows stirred, the entire Abyssal Underworld erupted into chaos. Everyone present started to feel suffocated, and their spirit power began to escape from their bodies uncontrollably. Muchan's father realized something was forcefully stealing their spirit power, and they could not stop it. Muchan deduced that the sparrow egg failed in its evolution, and now it was trying to compensate for its weakness by gathering souls from its surroundings. He realized that the 9 Nether Sparrow was the one who sent the map out into the world, intending to attract more souls to feed upon. As the situation became more perilous, Muchan realized that the corpses scattered around the area were the remains of beasts and people blinded by greed and fell victim to the 9 Nether Sparrow's cunning scheme. He understood that the entire Abyssal Underworld served as a feeding ground for the 9 Nether Sparrow, and it cleverly lured unsuspecting creatures to their doom. Muchan's father acknowledged the intelligence and cunning of the 9 Nether Sparrow, recognizing its worthiness to be ranked 11th among all beasts. He apologized to his people for leading them into this dangerous situation, but his followers assured him that it wasn't his fault, and they found some comfort in knowing that the Leo clan was also facing the same fate. Suddenly, the 9 Nether Sparrow emerged from the egg, releasing immense energy. Both the Liu and Mu clans realized that this beast was mighty, and they were no match for it. The sparrow's presence exuded high-pressure energy, and its gaze alone was overwhelming. With a voice filled with arrogance, the 9 Nether Sparrow referred to the clans as a bunch of ants and summoned dark divine thunderclouds, assuring its dominance. Yuan and the other members of the Mu clan were astonished and shocked to witness the 9 Nether Sparrow releasing such immense energy, and they speculated that it might be evolving once again. The sparrow was consumed with rage, and its energy surges were becoming more intense by the moment. Muchan's father realized that a proud and stubborn creature like the 9 Nether Sparrow could not be tamed by humanity, and they were mistaken to think they could control it. He acknowledged that in the face of the power of heaven and earth, man's ability was insignificant. Muchan inquired if the 9 Nether Sparrow would succeed in evolving this time, unlike its previous failed attempt. His father responded that there would be no other chance for it to revive itself again. As the 9 Nether Sparrow continued to unleash its fury, it generated another powerful energy surge. Amid the dark divine thunderclouds, a potent force opened the gates to the heavenly realm. Muchan, observing this, asked his father if the 9 Nether Sparrow could successfully pass through the thunder and enter the cosmic gate unharmed, would it advance to become a beast on the heavenly list? Muchan's father replied that the 9 Nether Sparrow would succeed, but crossing the step from a spirit beast to a divine beast was difficult. The 9 Nether Sparrow attempted to enter the high-energy heavenly realm gates, but their immense strength posed a challenge for the sparrow to cross. Determined and motivated, the sparrow reminded itself of the suffering endured for hundreds of years, vowing not to lose again. Muchan overheard the sparrow's inner thoughts and asked his father if he heard the same. The 9 Nether Sparrow continued to exert its full force, passionately proclaiming that it would not be stopped. However, as the heavenly gates started to close, the sparrow failed to cross it. The Leo clan was elated to witness the 9 Nether Sparrow's failure. Muchan was shocked by the sparrow's earnest efforts and ultimate inability to enter the heavenly gate. Filled with anger and disappointment, the sparrow attacked the gate, which was now nearly fully closed. With all its force and energy, the 9 Nether Sparrow generated high pressure and heat that was felt by both the nearby Muchan and Liu clans. As Muchan's father's wig caught fire due to the sparrow's energy surge, he realized that the sparrow was using self-destruction as a final desperate act, seeking to destroy everything around it. Panicking, everyone started running for their lives. However, Muchan stopped in his tracks and found himself strangely moved by the beauty of the 9 Nether Sparrow, feeling a deep sense of empathy. He understood that if the sparrow were to self-destruct, such a magnificent creature would cease to exist. As the Sparrow's self-destruction began, it unleashed powerful spirit attacks on the ground, striking some Liu and Mu clans members. One of the attacks hit Muchan, making him unconscious, and he was transported to a dreamlike state. In his dream, Muchan saw a little girl crying and expressing her frustration over losing again. Muchan approached the girl and asked what happened, offering his help. Initially, the girl was hesitant and told him to mind his business, but Muchan reassured her that he was not the wrong person and genuinely wanted to assist her. He urged her to stop crying, and the girl asked how he could help her, considering he was just at the late spirit wheel stage. Muchan responded sincerely, stating that he genuinely wanted to help her. In an unexpected turn of events, the girl suddenly stood up and attacked Muchan, seemingly taking his consciousness from his dantian. Muchan suddenly realized that the little girl was the Nether Sparrow itself, and he found himself in his sea of subconsciousness, wondering why the Sparrow was there with him. He understood that the bundle of spirit fire struck him, causing this unexpected encounter. Feeling hopeless and thinking it was over, Muchan refused to accept his fate. He lay on the bed and released a powerful fire beam that reached the sky, surprising his father, who was witnessing the energy surge. Meanwhile, in Muchan's consciousness, the Nether Sparrow girl was equally amazed by the energy display. Suddenly, a cage descended from above and captured her, imprisoning her. Muchan realized that the mysterious black paper had come to his rescue once again, as it had the incredible power to trap even spirit beasts as large as the Nether Sparrow. In his consciousness, Muchan expressed his gratitude for protecting the black paper, acknowledging that he still didn't fully understand its true nature. He reflected on how it had saved him numerous times, including now, where it had restrained the mighty Nether Sparrow. The Nether Sparrow girl remained angry and demanded that Muchan release her, but he refused, knowing that she would attack him if he set her free. She attempted to attack him with her Nether flame from within the cage, but the bars prevented her from reaching him. Muchan questioned why she was in his consciousness and pulled her cheeks for answers, but the girl remained silent. Frustrated, she threatened to escape the cage and seek revenge once she regained her strength. Muchan woke up from consciousness and found his father standing beside him. He asked his father how long he was unconscious, and his father replied that it had been a week since they escaped the Abyssal Underworld. His father admitted that he had been worried about Muchan's condition and was relieved to see him awake and well. Muchan was now in the training area, standing and practicing on one finger, demonstrating his determination and perseverance. Muchan's father was also present and asked him about their journey to the Abyssal Underworld. He admitted that although they had managed to stop the Liu district from obtaining the Sparrow, it had also led to a deep and irreconcilable enmity between the two sides. He warned that a future fight to the death was inevitable. Muchan's father continued, saying that he had been collecting materials for a spirit gathering array over the years, and they were almost ready to acquire a level 2 spirit gathering enchantment with the help of Muchan's aunt. Muchan offered to assist his father, but his father advised him to focus on increasing his strength and potential for the future, as that was the most significant contribution he could make. While standing on one finger and contemplating, Muchan realized that even though he had made progress during the adventure with the Sparrow and reached the spirit wheel stage, it was still not enough. He understood that he must become much more vital to truly support his father and convert all his achievements into his strength. A local member of the Mu clan arrived and informed Muchan that there was an uproar ahead and the enchanter hired for the spirit array was demanding more payment. Curious to see who this enchanter was, Muchan eagerly headed to the scene. At the front, Teacher Wen confronted the enchanter, Li Jian, about the situation. Li Jian demanded an exorbitant amount of 1 million and insisted on being made an elder of the Mu family in return for his help with the enchantment. Teacher Wen pointed out that she didn't receive such a high sum. Just then, Muchan's father arrived and intervened, stating that the payment terms had already been agreed upon and that going back on their word at this point would be unprofessional. Li Jian boasted about being one of the great 8 enchanters of the Northern Realms, with only 4 others beside him. He mentioned that the Liu clan hired the remaining 3 enchanters at a hefty price. Li Jian claimed he was taking a significant risk by helping the Mu clan against the Liu territory. With him, they would have enough people for this level 2 array. While Li Jian continued bragging, Muchan arrived at the scene and interrupted, suggesting they should send Li Jian away and let him take the spot instead. Hearing this, Li Jian mocked Muchan for his arrogance, but Muchan confidently retorted that Li Jian was merely a level 1 enchanter and that he could easily replace him. This remark infuriated Li Jian, who confronted Muchan with his magic. However, Muchan effortlessly countered with a single line of Spirit Seal, astonishing Teacher Wen. The robust seal incapacitated Li Jian, leaving him defeated on the ground. Muchan then taunted Li Jian, questioning his demand for 1 million with his current power level, which Muchan had just proven inadequate. Frustrated, Li Jian hastily retreated, running away from the scene. Teacher Yuan praised Muchan for his exceptional skills, impressed by his display of power. Muchan then asked Teacher Yuan if he could participate in setting up the spirit gathering enchantment. Teacher Yuan gladly agreed, and they decided to begin preparations the following day. Muchan stood next to the spirit-gathering pillars. Teacher Yuan explained that these pillars form the central framework of the spirit-gathering array, with each post costing millions of resources. Teacher Yuan explained that they would each follow the diagram, complete their parts of the array, and then link them together to form the complete Level 2 spirit-gathering array. Among the 50 spirit seal lines in the collection, Teacher Yuan would handle 20, while Chen Ling and the other 3 experienced enchanters would each be responsible for 8 bars. Muchan, being younger, would take the remaining 6 lines. The enchanters took their positions, standing on their respective pillars, including Muchan and Teacher Yuan. They began to activate the array, and Muchan realized why it was classified as Level 2. Just handling his small portion of the collection was already quite demanding. While the variety was being activated, Muchan's father and Zhou watched from the sidelines, hopeful that the variety would succeed in its purpose this time. As Teacher Yuan ordered the enchanters to link their portions of the collection, one started to crumble under immense pressure, causing the entire collection to falter and fail. Teacher Yuan yelled at Chen Lin, urging him to calm his mind and regain his focus. Seeing Chen Lin drained and struggling, she asked the other enchanters if someone could take over his 3 seals to cover for him. Despite her disappointment at the initial setback, Muchan's father and Zhou noticed Muchan seamlessly controlling the 3 seals with his intention array. In Muchan's Sea of Consciousness, the Sparrow girl sensed his prowess. Muchan skillfully drove the collection with his intentions, impressing everyone present. The variety was finally completed, and the local Mu clan members were elated to witness its success. Other enchanters approached Teacher Yuan, expressing their surprise that only Level 3 enchanters could invoke the intention state. Yet Muchan managed to do so. Teacher Yuan looked at Muchan with a proud gaze. Over at the Northern Spirit Academy's principal's office, Teacher Mo, Teacher Shi, and Principal Xiao gathered around a box containing the name spots of the 5 Grand Academies awarded this year. Principal Xiao asked who wanted to open the box, and both teachers gave each other the opportunity, hesitating out of fear. Teacher Mo expressed his reluctance, worried that he might only get 3 spots like a particular person did last year, leading to animosity from others. Teacher C countered, saying it had nothing to do with who opened the chest, but rather the number of spots offered by the Grand Academies. Principal Xiao intervened, silencing them both, and decided that Teacher Mo would open the box since it was his turn. With a swift motion, Teacher Mo grabbed Teacher Shi's hand and opened the box, revealing the 5 name spots granted by the Grand Academies. Principal Xiao felt relieved by the outcome. However, Teacher Mo added that there was also a seeded spot in the box, which shocked Principal Xiao. Meanwhile, Muchan was at the Northern Spiritual Academy and felt relieved to be safe there. Suddenly, Qian tried to grab Muchan's shoulder from behind, but he reacted quickly, avoiding her touch. Qian greeted Muchan and urged him to hurry as Master Mo announced the spots for the entrance to the 5 Great Academies. Suddenly, a vital energy wave hit Muchan and Qian, causing them to separate. 2 twins appeared, and it was clear that they knew Qian, who also recognized them. Tan arrived, surprising Muchan. Tan revealed that the twins were once close friends, almost like brothers. They grew up together, shared interests, and had feelings for Qian. However, their romantic pursuits were unsuccessful, so they always disappeared from the northern region. Chun Fan threw a stick at Tan, hitting him in the face, accusing him of making things up. He and his twin brother Huo Yun explained that they joined the exploration squad to train and improve themselves to meet Qian again and win her over. They were confident they would secure spots at the 5 Grand Academies and asserted that Muchan was their most significant competitor, vowing not to let him have the areas or Qian. Qian used her whip to silence them and suggested they go to where Master Mo was starting. Master Mo greeted everyone and announced that they had obtained 5 spots in the Grand Academies this year, but their academy also received a seeded place. Teacher Mo explained that while they usually acquired basic common areas, a seeded spot was a level 2 spot, ranked just below the core spot obtained by the one who performed the best in the Spirit Road. He added that this was the first time they had received a seeded place in hundreds of years, making it rare and highly coveted. Teacher Mo clarified that the seeded area meant that after entering the 5 Grand Academies, the recipient would receive better placements and more resources. He then eagerly asked who wanted the seeded spot. Everyone in the crowd was thrilled about the seeded spot, but Teacher Mo noticed that Muchan seemed indifferent. Principal Xiao revealed that this spot was offered to them because of Muchan's exceptional performance. In the 100 Spirit Skies, with its 37 realms, the Northern Spirit Academy was considered minor. Of all these realms, there were only 20 seeded name spots, and their academy had never had one. Principal Xiao explained that the 5 Grand Academies, known for their high standards, had been explicitly inquiring about Muchan's status, indicating that something remarkable must have happened during the Spirit Road that led to this offer. Teacher Shi intervened, expressing concerns about directly giving the seeded spot to Muchan, as it may lead to an uncontrollable reaction from others. Principal Xiao agreed and decided not to provide Muchan with the spot directly. Instead, Teacher Mo announced that only the most challenging and strongest students would be eligible to compete for the seeded spot. The competitors from the East Branch Heaven class would be Chen Fan, Huo Yun, Qian, Tan Qing, and Muchan. Teacher Mo confidently announced the upcoming demonic training camp in the next month, which he would oversee. He declared that everyone must reach the Spirit Wheel stage before the training begins. Upon hearing about the demonic activity, Tan already dreaded the challenges ahead. Qian asked Muchan if he had heard that they mentioned the Spirit Wheel stage, to which Muchan replied that if someone was already at that stage, they might or might not participate in the practice. This revelation amazed the crowd, comparing Muchan's strength to that of Liu Mubai. Teacher Mo laughed and said that although Muchan was at that stage, he must still attend the training and assured him that a particular dish would be prepared for him. Muchan felt apprehensive and thought he shouldn't have disclosed his true strength to everyone. At Liu Territory Palace, Liu Qing was furious that the Northern Academy received a seeded spot. Liu Qing laughed and confidently asserted that nobody else could take this spot except for his sons. Liu Mubai, however, cautioned that while his strength might be higher than Muchan's, Muchan was challenging to assess and was undoubtedly formidable. Liu Qing then advised Liu Mubai not to participate in Master Shi's special training, but instead to go to the Forbidden Grounds to visit his grandfather, as he would assist. Liu Mubai was amazed, wondering where their grandpa had vanished, and Liu Qing explained that it was all part of their Liu family's grand endeavor to unite the Northern Realm. Qian sat beside a waterfall, complaining that Teacher Mo had told them to assemble in swimwear, but he had been late. Tan added that Muchan was also late. Suddenly, Huo Yun emerged from the water, saying he knew where Muchan was, and revealing that Muchan and Master Mo were obtaining spiritual arts. Chen Fan was also present, swimming with a snorkel, but someone blocked it, and he rose from the water to find Muchan. Now everyone was gathered, and Teacher Mo arrived as well. He addressed the group, emphasizing that if they could not reach the Spirit Wheel stage that month, they might not be able to compete, which would reflect poorly on the East Branch. Teacher Mo called out Qian's name, and she responded with, "Spirit Movement Stage, Late Period Peak." Then he called Chen Fan's name and replied with, "Spirit Movement Stage, Late Period Peak." The same went for Huo Yun, who said, "Spirit Movement Stage, Late Period Peak." Tan Qing followed, stating, "Spirit Movement Stage, Late Period." Teacher Mo then emphasized that there were no shortcuts in cultivation, only hard work and dedication. That month, they all dedicated themselves to intense training. Teacher Mo instructed Qian to train in the waterfall, urging everyone to use all their spirit power to resist the force of the falling water. The external pressure from the waterfall would gradually enter their bodies, pressuring the latent spirit power in the sea of qi within them, accelerating the formation of the spirit wheel. Chen Fan jumped into the waterfall first, but Huo Yun jumped ahead, causing Yun to fall, and Chen Fan started laughing at him. Meanwhile, Qian and Tan were already practicing at the waterfall. Teacher Mo shouted from outside, telling them they could take a break if they felt too drained. Muchan asked Teacher Mo if he should also train there, to which Teacher Mo replied that his training place was in another waterfall with woods and logs coming in. Muchan realized that Teacher Mo valued him highly, and that this training ground was perfect for the 2 arts he had selected from the Spirit Art Library, Spirit Shadow Step and Spirit Emperor's Finger. Teacher Mo explained that Shadow Step was a movement spirit art that relied on speed. Only through quickness could one truly grasp its essence. He told Muchan that if he could reach a point where he could traverse the posts in the waterfall without being touched by water, he would have succeeded. Muchan was astonished and found it difficult to believe such a feat was possible. He expressed his doubt, saying that traversing the posts alone was already challenging enough, let alone avoiding being touched by water. Teacher Mo, however, assured Muchan that if he became fast enough, the water would have no chance to hit him. Emperor Finger was an offensive art renowned for its brute power, but its true strength lay in targeting weak spots and breaking through defenses with a single point of impact. Teacher Mo revealed that he had placed a device upstream, and logs would continuously roll down the waterfall. Muchan had to train until he could accurately sense the records within the falling water, and then pierce through them instantly with the power of his 2 fingers. Muchan was thrilled by the challenging training and expressed his gratitude for such an opportunity. Meanwhile, Qian motivated others, emphasizing how their hard work during that month of training would significantly impact their chances of securing the name spots in the competition. On the other hand, Liu Mubai trained with a wolf beast under his grandfather's guidance, exuding confidence that he could secure the seeded spot. As Muchan began training, he jumped into the waterfall with determination and used his powers with patience. However, he struggled to break the logs with his 2 fingers accurately and kept falling into the water. Despite the setbacks, Muchan refused to give up and continued his attempts. Seeing his efforts, Qian offered him a break, but Muchan declined, determined to keep training. Qian questioned why Muchan was pushing himself so hard, to which he responded that he believed he was a genius, and all the skills he had acquired came through life-and-death situations where he paid with blood and sweat. He was determined to seize every opportunity with sheer practice and strength. Seeing Muchan's relentless practice and dedication, Qian realized that people often saw his successes without knowing the immense effort and sacrifices he made behind the scenes. This realization motivated her even more, and she and the others returned to their training with renewed determination. Half a month later, Qian sat underneath the waterfall and suddenly achieved the Spirit Wheel stage. Following her, Chen Fan and Huo Yun also attained the Spirit Wheel stage, much to their delight. Teacher Mo congratulated them, impressed that they had accomplished this feat in such a short time. Qian inquired about Muchan's progress, and Teacher Mo suggested they see for themselves. Meanwhile, Muchan continued to train hard, pushing himself to the limit. He mastered the Shadow Step and Emperor's finger skills with relentless effort and determination, leaving everyone astonished at his progress and abilities. Teacher Mo informed everyone that Tan Qing should be able to reach the Spirit Wheel stage in 3 days at most, and the training must continue without relaxation. To help them fully grasp the power of the Spirit Wheel stage, Teacher Mo devised a grand event for them called the Life and Death Run. The game would last from sunrise to sunset, and hidden in the forest were 10 talismans, each worth 10 points. Each player wore an amulet, which could not be removed, but if stolen by someone, it was worth 30 points. Tan was running through the forest, wearing his charm and using the map with clues to locate the talismans. He spotted a cheetah wearing one of the talismans around its neck, but hesitated as the cheetah was with its cubs, making him fearful. However, Tan gathered his courage and managed to snatch the talisman from the cheetah's neck. Still, Chen Fan immediately tried to grab it from him, demanding that Tan quietly hand over the talisman and amulet. Tan refused, sparking a confrontation between Chen Fan and him. Chen Fan launched a fierce attack on Tan, causing him to fall to the ground. As Chen Fan tried to snatch the amulet from Tan's neck, Tan reacted quickly and grabbed Chen Fan's pouch, swiftly escaping. Frustrated at losing his pouch, Chen Fan walked through the forest and encountered Huo Yun sitting on a tree. Huo Yun proposed a team-up with Chen Fan, believing that by combining their strengths, they could defeat Muchan. Meanwhile, Muchan relaxed in the grass, contemplating the amulets that Teacher Mo had provided them. Suddenly, a whip came out of nowhere, and Muchan dodged it just in time to see Qian standing before him. He reminded Qian of their friendship, but she didn't seem to listen and attacked again, trying to capture Muchan. However, he managed to escape her grasp. Chen Fan and Huo Yun arrived at the scene, and Muchan realized they had teamed up against him. Chen Fan launched a sneak attack on Muchan, while Huo Yun supported him with a powerful assault using the swallow return technique. Despite the odds, Muchan stayed determined and responded by using his improved Great Pagoda art to solidify the battlefield. Both Chen Fan and Huo Yun were caught off guard by the solidification, leaving them hurt and unable to continue their attack. Muchan was pleased with his progress, knowing that the Great Pagoda art had reached the second stage, Solidify Shape stage. Chen Fan and Huo Yun regained their composure and prepared to launch another attack, but Qian surprised them by joining Muchan's side. She explained that Muchan had already invited her to be part of their team, making it a 2v2 battle. The 4 of them engaged in combat again, with Chen Fan and Huo Yun focusing on Muchan. However, as Huo Yun saw Chen Fan struggling, he decided to retreat, leaving Chen Fan alone to face Muchan and Qian. As the battle intensified, Huo Yun attempted to escape quickly, but Muchan caught up to him and unleashed the full force of his pagoda art. The ground broke beneath them, and Yun fell from the mountain. In a desperate attempt to save him, Muchan used the Spirit Emperor's finger on the ground, but his effort was in vain. Muchan yelled for Qian's help, and she used her whip to grab his arm and pull him to safety. Qian was angry at Muchan for risking his life like that. Meanwhile, Yun expressed his gratitude to Muchan for trying to save him. But in an unexpected turn, Muchan swiftly grabbed his amulet and knocked him down. Teacher Mo saw that the time for the life-and-death run was over, and he called all the students to gather. Muchan was declared the winner, scoring 110 points, and Qian followed with 90 points. Teacher Mo asked where the other team members, Chen Fan and Yun, were, to which Qian replied that they would miss the time. She explained that she had tied them to a tree to ensure they wouldn't interfere. Muchan noticed that Tan was missing, but suddenly Tan appeared, holding the back of a bear and directing it towards a stone, knocking the bear out. Tan proudly announced that he got 60 points, securing the third position in the competition. Teacher Mo then proceeded to tell the rewards for the top 3 participants. They would receive free training in the Divine Soul stage from him for half a month. Qian and Tan seemed disappointed with the reward, and Muchan interjected, asking Teacher Mo to allow Chen Fan and Yun to join the training. Teacher Mo agreed to his request. Half a month later, Principal Xiao and Teacher Hao stood watching the audience at North Spirit City Plaza. The masters of the 9 regions were also present. Tang San from Tang region, Hong Ling from Han region, Liu Qing from Liu territory, and Mu Feng from Mu region. The crowd was filled with excitement, discussing how many sons and daughters of the masters were participating in the event this time. From behind the group, Chen Tong, a participant from the West Branch, arrived with a confident claim that being a master's child didn't matter, and he was destined to secure one of the 5 Grand Academy spots. However, his bold statement was cut short when someone kicked him. Chen Tong turned around and saw that Muchan and his group firmly told him to get out of the way and not block the road. Qian complained that Teacher Mo had pushed them hard during the special training, but Muchan responded that it would greatly benefit them in the competition. He added that they couldn't afford to lose, even if it were to live up to the expectations set by the special training. Principal Xiao announced that entry to the 5 Grand Academies was officially beginning. However, before that, he introduced an important guest, the supervising judge from the 5 Great Academies, Teacher Hao. She would decide the final name for the spot. Principal Xiao explained to Teacher Hao that there were 10 participants in the competition, and the matchups would be decided by drawing lots under her supervision. The first round matchups were revealed: Mu Chen versus Chen Tong, Liu Mubai versus Tan Qing. Both participants took their places as the competition began. Mu Chen gave Tan Qing a pep talk, emphasizing that winning was about skill and one's will to power. The matches commenced, and Mu Chen faced Chen Tong, who exuded cockiness and confidence. Chen Tong launched an attack with his heart-shattering palm, but Mu Chen easily evaded it and countered with a powerful backhand that sent Chen Tong flying. The crowd cheered for Mu Chen's impressive display of skill. However, Muchan noticed that Liu Mubai was overpowering Tan Qing in their match. Despite being injured, Tan refused to give up and fought with all his strength, earning cheers from the spectators. Liu Mubai, growing angrier at Tan's persistence, launched a more potent attack, causing Tan to sustain more injuries and spit out blood. Despite the pain, Tan recalled his arduous training and refused to back down. His determination impressed the crowd, who rallied behind him in support. Tan, injured and on the ground, heard Qian cheering for him and Mu Chen encouraging him to use demonic training. On the other hand, Liu Mubai mocked Tan, belittling him as insignificant. Despite his wounds, Tan gathered his last ounce of strength and attacked Liu Mubai with the Mountain Thousand Peak Breaking Edge. But it appeared to have little effect on his opponent. Exhausted and battered, Tan admitted that he had tried his best and didn't want to lose. However, Liu Mubai, determined to crush him completely, launched a deadly attack intending to kill him. Mu Chen intervened and stopped Liu Mubai, questioning his need to resort to such extreme measures when he had already won the match. Liu dismissed Mu Chen's concern, stating that it was none of his business, and Tan had not yet given up. Mu Chen then attacked Liu Mubai in defense of Tan, but before the situation escalated further, Teacher Hao stepped in between them and ended the match. She instructed Liu Mubai to leave the stage, and he exited the area. Mu Chen then went to pick up Tan, and Judge Hao asked if Tan was all right. Mu Chen reassured her that Tan was fine and expressed his pride in him. Qian was worried about Tan and furious at Liu Mubai for his ruthless behavior. The next round was announced, with Chen Fan facing Zhang San and Hua Yun taking on Li Si. Fan and Yuan were determined to seek revenge for Tan and show the West Branch the power of the East Branch. Both Fan and Yuan won their matches. It was time for the third match between Tang Qian and Hong Ling. Hong Ling started the fight by using her charm, leaving everyone in awe. She mentioned that they had been fighting since childhood and would determine the winner today. Hong Ling employed the dance of illusions and wave step, but Qian countered with the rotating defense to break the illusion. Then, Hong Ling used the rainbow cloth hiding technique, but Qian managed to evade it and attacked from behind, shaking Hong Ling. Hong Ling retaliated with the Haizu spin dance, capturing Qian with her hair, but Qian broke free. The two opponents paused briefly and then launched their attacks with full force. Qian yelled that they would find out who was the best between her and Hong Ling in that battle. Hong Ling responded fiercely, declaring that she would play along and give her all. The two continued attacking each other, and the crowd became even more excited, cheering for their favorites. Seeing their two beautiful and skilled masters fighting filled the group with enthusiasm for the intense battle. Amidst the cheering crowd, Fan and Yuan were worried about the outcome of the fight, while Muchan observed that Qian and Hong Ling seemed evenly matched, and he feared the victory would take time to decide. The eastern side of the crowd rooted for Qian, while the western side supported Hong Ling. The battle between Qian and Hong Ling raged on, with both showing incredible determination and not giving up. However, suddenly, Teacher Hao stepped in and declared the fight a draw, not wanting to waste the potential of both Qian and Hong Ling by letting the battle continue indefinitely. Qian and Hong Ling were displeased with the stoppage and asked Teacher Hao who would take the name spot. Hao explained that they were equally talented, making it hard to determine a winner. However, the Northern Academy could only send 5 names to the 5 Grand Academies that year, and she could not change that rule. Teacher Hao then revealed that, as an elder of the 10,000 Phoenix Academy, one of the 5 Grand Academies, she would break the precedent and admit Chan and Hong Ling into their academy. This decision surprised everyone and brought a sense of satisfaction to Qian and Hong Ling, who could now pursue their dreams together. As Qian and Hong Ling eagerly accepted Hao's offer to join the 10,000 Phoenix Academy, excitement filled the air. Fan and Yuan, hearing the news, expressed their wish to join as well, but Hao clarified that the academy only accepted female students. The 4 were thrilled about Qian and Hong Ling's opportunity and cheered for their success. In the principal's office, Principal Xiao asked Teacher Hao whether admitting Qian and Hong Ling into the 10,000 Phoenix Academy would meet any objections from the 5 Grand Academies. Hao responded confidently, stating that there was always an opportunity to find more students with great potential, which was why she took on the role of a judge. She assured Principal Xiao that the regular spots had already been decided, and they would announce the remaining seeded spot winner tomorrow. Meanwhile, the crowd gathered around a strange toy in the plaza. Principal Xiao revealed that they had constructed a particular stage solely for the competition of the seeded spot, the treasure on Blade Mountain. He explained that competitors would begin climbing the mountain simultaneously, and the rules allowed for attacking each other. The one who managed to take the golden bell placed on the mountaintop would earn the coveted seeded spot. Principal Xiao announced that the previous winners, Muchan, Leo Mubai, Chen Fan, and Huo Yun, would participate in this intense Blade Mountain competition. The crowd buzzed with anticipation. As the competition intensified, everyone rushed towards the golden bell placed on the top of Blade Mountain. Leo Mubai, determined to secure the spot for himself, attacked Huo Yun to gain an advantage. However, Yun fought back and the two engaged in a heated battle. Frustrated with their antics, Chen Fan yelled at them to focus and saw Mu Chen ahead, effortlessly navigating the stage with incredible agility. Seizing the opportunity, Liu Mubai, Chen Fan, and Huo Yun launched a joint attack on Mu Chen, resulting in a powerful explosion on the stage. The crowd watched with both curiosity and concern as the dust settled. Meanwhile, Qian, Hong Ling, and Tan enjoyed the spectacle from a distance with drinks in hand. Qian pondered the potential chaos if everyone started attacking each other and the tower collapsed. However, she remembered Principal Xiao's earlier announcement that the building was made of indestructible metal, calming her worries. In another part of the crowd, Mu Chen's father and Uncle Zhao watched the competition for the seated spot with great interest. As the intense battle continued, Mu Chen faced off against Liu Mubai, who unleashed a powerful attack known as the Wolf Soul Devour. The spectators were shocked by the strength of Liu's attack, but Mu Chen's agility allowed him to dodge the attack effortlessly, leaving him in perfect condition. In retaliation, Yun attacked Liu from behind, but Liu retaliated by slapping him, sending Yun flying off the stage. Chen Fan managed to save Yuan in midair but then realized that it was an individual competition, not a group one. Reluctantly, Fan released Yuan, and both of them fell from the tower. However, Yuan warned Fan about nails on the ground that could kill them upon impact. Fan quickly jumped after Yuan, grabbing his hand to save him from the dangerous claws. Unfortunately, this act resulted in their elimination from the competition. With only Muchan and Liu Mubai remaining, Liu taunted Muchan, saying that the competition between the Lius and Moose had lasted for years, and he would finally cripple Muchan that day. Muchan responded that he was thinking and aimed to do the same to Liu. Liu lunged at Muchan with a kick, but it appeared as if his attack passed through Muchan's body like an illusion. The crowd was astonished by Muchan's skills. As the intense battle between Muchan and Liu Mubai continued, Muchan suddenly appeared behind and launched an attack at Liu, who managed to dodge it. In return, Liu struck back, but Muchan countered with his powerful technique, the Emperor's Finger. The clash of their attacks worried the crowd, fearing that the tower stage might not withstand their incredible combat power. Amidst the fierce confrontation, Tan became concerned and asked Hong Ling about the advantage between the two fighters. Hong Ling explained that Leo Mubai was only in the mid-period of the Spirit Wheel stage, while Muchan had just entered the Spirit Wheel stage, giving Muchan a slight advantage. After their intense exchange, Muchan and Leo Mubai descended to the ground, exhausted and injured. However, Muchan closed his eyes and started to use a spell, leaving Leo Mubai puzzled. Without hesitation, Leo attacked Muchan repeatedly, but to everyone's surprise, Muchan effortlessly evaded every single attack, all while keeping a count. On the 17th attack, Muchan responded with his decisive move, Array Rise. The crowd was astounded by Muchan's sudden display of Array Enchantment, as they had no idea he possessed such skills. Even Liu Qing, Liu Mubai's father, was shocked, stating that even if Muchan were a level 1 enchanter, it would still be impossible to set up the array so quickly during a heated battle, especially with his eyes closed. Teacher Hao was also shocked to witness Muchan's incredible mastery of the variety. Muchan confidently explained that even those in the late Spirit Wheel stage must avoid the Tiger Flame Spirit devouring array. Still, he dedicated a month to practicing and mastering the 17 spirit seals required for the array. However, to everyone's surprise, Liu Mubai also had a hidden trump card. He snapped and entered the Spirit Wheel Peak stage, revealing that he was holding back to conceal his true strength. Liu Mubai boasted that his body held a human-level spirit vessel, making him unbeatable within the Spirit Wheel stage. Liu Qing, his father, was delighted and proud of his son's power, while the Mu clan and Muchan's father became increasingly concerned for Muchan's safety. With a burst of power, Liu Mubai launched the Great Sun Wave Palm attack at Muchan. Despite the immense force behind the attack, Muchan remained unscathed, shattering the energy with ease. The two combatants eventually returned to the ground with Liu visibly exhausted and lying on the floor. Muchan decided to finish the battle and attempted to use his Emperor's Finger to attack the downed Liu. However, Liu's father, Liu Qing, intervened and launched his attack to protect his son. In response, Muchan's father stepped before Muchan to block Liu Qing's attack. The tense standoff between the two powerful families added to the intensity of the battle. As Principal Xiao confronted Muchan and Liu Mubai about their reckless actions, Liu Qing angrily claimed he was teaching Muchan a lesson. In response, Muchan's father defended his son, advising Liu Qing not to fight the young if he could not handle losing. Liu Mubai chimed in, stating that it was a tie since he and Muchan were tired. However, the crowd vehemently disagreed and chanted to support Muchan, asserting that he won. Frustrated by the disruption, Principal Xiao shouted through the microphone for the crowd to be quiet. He then announced that the judge, Teacher Hao, would decide. When Teacher Hao said Muchan was the clear winner, Liu Qing became even more enraged. Teacher Hao explained that Muchan was still on Blade Mountain while Liu Mubai was already out, solidifying Muchan's victory. The crowd laughed at Liu Mubai's premature assumption of the outcome, and Qian was thrilled by the news. The official announcement proclaimed Muchan, Liu Mubai, Huo Yun, Tang Qian, and Hong Ling as the winners of the spots, qualifying them to advance to the prestigious 5 Grand Academies. Upon hearing the news, Qian was elated and embraced Muchan in celebration, feeling triumphant and relieved. On the other hand, Liu Mubai was visibly disappointed and angry, unable to accept his defeat. Principal Xiao was moved to tears, expressing his joy and pride as he had overseen the Northern Academy for many years. Finally, 6 students, including a seeded student, were advancing. However, Teacher Hao interrupted Principal Xiao, creating a sense of anticipation. She announced that it was not just 6 students going, but 7, as Tan Shan would also be granted a spot in the 5 Grand Academies. She commended Tan for his bravery and determination, offering him an additional opportunity despite his loss. This unexpected twist left Principal Xiao astounded, and he passed out from amazement and excitement. Upon hearing the news, Tan was shocked and overjoyed, receiving praises from Qian and Muchan for his well-deserved achievement. Teacher Hao explained that the 5 Grand Academies included the North Gray Sky School, the Blue Sky School, the 10,000 Phoenix School, the Martial Spirit School, and the Sacred Spirit School. Qian and Hongling had already been selected for the 10,000 Phoenix School, but the rest of the winners must now choose which school they wished to attend. Teacher Hao proceeded with her explanation, giving the students insights into each of the 5 Grand Academies. She began with the Sacred Spirit School, which boasts a 500-year history. Known for its emphasis on strength and the principle of might is right, the Sacred Spirit School had consistently ranked first in school competitions. Leo Mubai's interest was piqued, and he started considering the Sacred Spirit School as his potential choice. Next, Teacher Hao described the Martial Spirit School, emphasizing their focus on cultivating warriors through life and death experiences. The idea of seeking the warrior's path resonated with some students, including Fan and Yuan, who expressed interest in the Martial Spirit School. Moving on to the Blue Sky School, Teacher Hao highlighted their philosophy of harmony with nature and their picturesque location amidst beautiful mountains. Fan and Yuan seemed even more intrigued by this school, expressing their desire to attend. Teacher Hao then introduced the 10 Phoenix School, a girls-only academy with the motto of self-improvement, self-love, and self-respect. She proudly revealed that she was a teacher at this school and eagerly awaited the arrival of both Qian and Hongling. She urged the students not to underestimate the might of the Phoenix School just because it accepted girls, as the recent victor of the competition for the crown, Wen Qingxuan, was a student from her school. Hearing about Wen Qingxuan and Luo Li, Muchan was taken aback. Teacher Hao confirmed that Wen Qingxuan was indeed the winner of the competition for the crown, earning the prestigious title of King Level from the Spirit Road, a title revered by everyone and a direct ticket to the 5 Great Academies. But when Muchan inquired about Luo Li, Teacher Hao acknowledged that she was well aware of her as one of the geniuses from this round, also bestowed with the king-level status by the Spirit Road. Teacher Hao elaborated on Luo Li's impressive feats during the competition, mentioning how she gravely injured Zhu Xuan, a student highly regarded by the Sacred Spirit School. However, despite the opportunities presented by the Sacred Spirit School and the Martial Spirit School, Luo Li ultimately chose to join the North Sky School. As Muchan reflected on this information, memories of his time with Luo Li resurfaced. He remembered when they were together, sitting beside a tree while he cooked fish on a campfire. Muchan recalled how Luo Li had offered to cook next time, but he insisted on doing what he loved, which was cooking. During this conversation, Muchan asked her about the school she planned to join after the Spirit Road, to which she replied that she had yet to decide. Muchan decided firmly that he wanted to go to the North Sky School, believing it might be fate since he hailed from the Northern Spirit Realm and the North Gray Sky School aligned with his origins. He excitedly invited Luo Li to join him at the Sky School, but she declined, stating that she did not wish to attend the same school as him. Frustrated, Muchan pointed out that Luo Li wanted to spend the rest of their lives together, but she corrected him, saying she had never made such a promise. She retreated to a tree branch, expressing her desire to sleep. Despite Muchan's complaints, Luo Li remained firm in her decision, and he continued to protest, urging her not to leave him behind after eating his food and suggesting she should take responsibility for him. Reflecting on the past conversation with Luo Li, Muchan reiterated his intention to join the Sky School. Tansan decided to join Muchan as well. Teacher Hao expressed concern over the North Sky School's performance and believed Muchan's exceptional talent should lead him to consider his options carefully. However, Muchan was resolute, stating that someone was waiting for him at the Sky School. Meanwhile, at Leo's place, Leo Mubai seethed angrily, breaking cups in frustration over his defeat. Leo Mubai refused to take the medicine and became agitated, unable to accept his recent defeat and loss of the seated spot. His father, Liu Qing, advised him to reflect on his behavior, pointing out that he could not handle even a minor setback. Leo Mubai vented his frustration, stating that it was not just a single defeat, but rather the widening gap between him and Muchan. He believed that the future would only bring more success for Muchan while leaving him behind. In response, Liu Qing slapped Leo Mubai, urging him to calm down. He reminded his son that an overturning nest leads to the destruction of its eggs, implying that rash actions could harm his chances further. Liu Qing also mentioned that the return of Liu Mubai's grandfather to the peak stage meant they could wait for the right opportunity. He hinted at his intention to eliminate those who stood in their way, particularly the Mu region. Meanwhile, at Muchan's house, the atmosphere was jubilant with fireworks and celebrations. Servants prepared sumptuous meals, including turtle for Muchan, congratulating him on achieving the seated spot. Muchan's father expressed his pride and happiness, acknowledging that all the hard work in raising him had been worthwhile. He believed that Muchan could face his mother in heaven with dignity. Aunt Wen arrived at the celebration and praised Muchan, attributing his greatness to his mother, Jing. She offered to give Muchan supplementary lessons in enchanting, further supporting his growth and development. Amidst the joyful celebration, a man arrived with bad news, stating that the Xiong region had been attacked and their leader, Chen Xiong, had died. Muchan's father was shocked and grabbed the informer, demanding more details. The informant explained that Dark Mang Mountain's boss, Yang Gui, led the attack that killed their leader. Uncle Zhao suggested seeking revenge for Xiong's death, and Muchan's father became furious, vowing to flatten Dark Mang Mountain and avenge Master Chen. However, Muchan arrived and advised them to hold on, suspecting that there might be a plot behind the attack. He pointed out that the Mang Mountain would never dare to provoke the Mu region, so their sudden audacity raised suspicion. Muchan proposed that his father stay home while he led a group to attack Dark Mang Mountain and avenge Uncle Xiong. His father agreed, and Uncle Zhao also volunteered to join the attack. Aside from the 9 regions, there were other less prominent groups in the northern spirit realm, most located in the Dark Mang Mountain range between the Mu region and the Liu region. Among these groups, Dark Mang Mountain stood out as one of the strongest. At the Xi'an region, Muchan arrived and was welcomed by the Xi'an troops. The remaining forces in the Xi'an region reported Muchan's arrival to their vice leader, Zhen Yong. Zhen Yong, who was injured, explained that Dark Mang Mountain had launched a sneak attack on their leader and quickly retreated into the mountains. The challenging terrain and other groups in the realm foiled their attempt at revenge. Muchan suggested seeking help from the nearby 9 Dragon Camp, so he headed there. At the 9 Dragon Camp, he encountered the young mistress, Lei Yin, who appeared annoyed and reprimanded her servant. Upon hearing about the attack on the mountain, Lei Yin immediately expressed her intent to fight the intruders. However, as she was about to leave, she noticed Muchan surrounded by their guards and approached him. Lei Yin confirmed if he was indeed Muchan, to which Muchan playfully responded with a joke about being a fake offering free returns and exchanges. Lei Yin inspected Muchan and remarked that he didn't seem all that special, but she wondered why Teacher Wen held him in such high regard. Lei introduced herself to Muchan as the daughter of the leader of the 9 Dragon Camp, and revealed that she was a level 1 enchanter. Muchan was surprised that she knew Aunt Wen and asked if she was Aunt Wen's disciple. Lei explained that she wished to be Aunt Wen's disciple, but was told that Aunt Wen only wanted one disciple, Muchan from the Mu region. Lei then challenged Muchan to a competition in chanting, eager to see his potential. Without wasting any time, Lei launched an attack at Muchan with a spell, but Muchan skillfully dodged it and countered with a powerful attack of his own. Lei was amazed and shocked by Muchan's strength and quickly ordered her men to restrain him. Suddenly, someone slapped Lei from behind, and it turned out to be Lei Cheng. Muchan was happy to see Lei Cheng and explained that he had returned to the mountains because the situation had been tense recently. Lei Cheng shared that he coincidentally found Lei Yin, who was bullying him. He then took Muchan to meet his brother, Lei Shan, the leader of the 9 Dragon Camp. Muchan asked Lei Shan if he would consider participating in the conflict between the Mu region and the Dark Mang Mountain, considering the latter had always sought to bring them down. However, Lei Shan firmly said he would not involve the 9 Dragon Camp in the conflict. He explained that Muchan's dealings with the Liu region had already caused chaos in the 9 regions, and he wouldn't let the 9 Dragon Camp become cannon fodder for the ongoing disputes. Upon hearing this, Muchan laughed and mocked Lei Shan's decision, calling it idiotic. This angered Lei Yin, Lei Shan's daughter, and she tried to attack Muchan for insulting her father, but Lei Shan stopped her. Instead, Lei Shan himself stood up to confront Muchan. Muchan and his group had arrived at the Dark Mang Mountains to launch an attack. Despite the difficult mountainous terrain, they were determined to seek revenge for the Xiong region and confront Yang Gui, the leader of the Dark Mang Mountain. Muchan's group began bombarding the Dark Mang Mountain territory with a great cannon loaded with spirit bullets. Inside the territory, chaos ensued as the inhabitants panicked in response to the unexpected attack. However, Zhou Ye, the leader of the Dark Mang Mountain, managed to calm his people down and assured them they could withstand the assault. He taunted Muchan's group, claiming they were too few and had come to meet their doom. Uncle Zhao, a Muchan group member, confidently mocked Zhou Ye, stating that he alone could defeat him. As the great cannon continued to fire, it became apparent that Yang Gui was growing increasingly worried about the situation. However, just when it seemed like Muchan's group was gaining an advantage, they were ambushed by Liu Zong, the second uncle of the Liu family. The sudden appearance of Liu Zong revealed that the Liu family had set a trap for Muchan's group. As they realized their perilous situation, panic set in among Muchan's followers. As the battle intensified, tensions ran high between Muchan's group, the Liu family, and the forces of the Dark Mang Mountain. Uncle Zhao accused the Liu family of colluding with the Dark Mang Mountain to harm Muchan's brothers. Liu Zong and Liu Ming responded with arrogance, blaming the Mu realm's extravagant actions for their predicament and declaring their intention to capture Muchan as a consolation prize. However, Muchan planned to turn the tide in their favor. He signaled for backup, and just as Liu Zong and Liu Ming were about to attack, the Nine Dragon Camp arrived with their army. It was revealed that Muchan and Lei Cheng had staged the act to deceive the Liu family and ensure their assistance. Uncle Zhou was surprised by the sudden appearance of the Nine Dragon Camps and wondered how they managed to arrive. Lei Shan explained that he knew Uncle Zhou had spies within the Nine Dragon Camps, so they orchestrated the elaborate ruse to unite their forces against the common enemies. Using his keen understanding of the situation, Muchan convinced Lei Shan that if they allowed the Liu realm to defeat the Mu realm, the Liu family would seize the opportunity to invade the Dark Mang Mountain next. Muchan and Lei Shan's deception successfully misled the spies, allowing Muchan to leave secretly to prepare for the upcoming attack. Lei Shan acknowledged Muchan's bravery, and thanks to their act, he managed to identify and apprehend the traitor within his camp. Meanwhile, Liu Zong was undeterred and remained determined to attack. He belittled the alliances formed by Muchan and Lei Shan, dismissing them as insignificant. However, Uncle Zhou from Muchan's side stood firm and resolute, ready to face Liu Zong alone if necessary. Lei Shan gave the command as the tension escalated, and his crossbowmen positioned on the mountain fired upon Liu's forces. Yang Gui, the king of Dark Mang Mountain, responded with fury, summoning the sole essence of a rank 177 Silver Moon Wolf. Lei Shan summoned a formidable rank of 168 golden-armored mountain-piercing beast. As the battle raged between Yang Gui and Lei Shan, Muchan faced off against Liu Ming. Liu Ming taunted Muchan, claiming he would have killed him back at the Northern Spirit Academy if he had known about Muchan's potential earlier. Determined to prove his strength, Muchan easily dodged Liu Ming's attacks and retaliated with a powerful punch. The two clashed, exchanging blows and demonstrating their skills. Muchan used his illusion spell to surround Liu Ming with illusions, leaving him bewildered and amazed by Muchan's speed and ability to set up spirit arrays. In response, Liu Ming defended himself by using the shadowy Wraith Hand, resulting in an intense collision of spells and a surge of energy that pushed Liu Ming back slightly. Undeterred, Muchan prepared to use his powerful Emperor's Finger spell to finish off Liu Ming. However, he got distracted by someone or something, causing him to miss the spell and allowing Liu Ming to counterattack. The interruption frustrated Muchan, but he quickly regained focus and prepared to face Liu Ming again. Muchan heard Lei's daughter crying as she worried about her father losing the battle against Yang Gui. He encouraged her not to give up and suggested she could help her father by setting up a spirited array to defeat Yang Gui. Lei's daughter expressed doubt, saying that they were all at the Divine Soul stage and it would be impossible. However, Muchan insisted that she wouldn't know unless she tried and reminded her that he asked for her father's help, so he couldn't stand by and do nothing if something happened to him. Muchan again asked Lei's daughter for help, and she agreed. He gave her a Jade Spirit Fruit and a scroll of the Level 2 Spirit Array, the Nine Heavens Lightning Array. Muchan explained that the variety required placing 25 Spirit Seals, and he planned to put 19 of them at Qian, Kun, and Zhen. He left the remaining 6 Shun Seals to Lei's daughter. He also advised her to use the Jade Spirit Fruit to replenish her spirit power if needed. As the battle continued, Liu Ming and his companion noticed that Muchan was placing a spirited array. Liu Ming's companion warned him that Yang Gui's power was above that of both Zhou Yi and Lei Shan, and the victory or defeat would be decided soon. Despite this, they witnessed Muchan confidently setting up the spirit array. Muchan told them that it was only the second time he had done this with someone else, displaying his determination and skill in enchanting. Liu Ming became worried and urged his men to stop Muchan and Lei's daughter from placing the array. However, Lei's people defended Lei's daughter, protecting her while she continued to put the spirit array with Muchan. Despite the immense pressure of the spell, Lei's daughter persevered and successfully formed the Nine Heavens lightning array, surprising everyone on the battlefield. Liu Ming realized they were too late to stop them and ordered his men to attack, but it was already too late. Muchan and Lei's daughter unleashed the power of the Nine Heavens lightning array upon Yang Gui. He tried to defend himself with the Dark Ghost Great Palm, but it failed to hold against the overwhelming force of the combined attack. Lei Shan took advantage of the situation and grabbed Yang Gui from behind, breaking his bones and ultimately killing him. Li's daughter was overjoyed that her father had won, but Muchan humbly corrected her, emphasizing that it was a collective victory for all of them. Lei Shan announced that the Dark Mang Mountain people should stop resisting now that their leader was dead. The Dark Mang Mountain people surrendered, but the Liu faction opposed it. Liu's second uncle was still fighting with Uncle Zhou, but seeing that Yang Gui was defeated, he decided to retreat and promised to get his revenge next time. The battle won filled the atmosphere with happiness and victory chants. Uncle Zhou praised Muchan for his bravery and skill in battle, recognizing his contribution to the victory. Back at the Mu territory, Uncle Zhou explained the battle details to Muchan's father and Aunt Wen. He described how, in a critical moment, Muchan shouted, causing Yang Gui to be stunned and crying like a defeated dog. Muchan's father and Aunt Wen were delighted to hear this and asked where Muchan was now. Uncle Zhou informed them that after the defeat of Dark Mang Mountain, Muchan took 2 items as spoils. In Muchan's room, Muchan examined the spoils he obtained: a 9-haired ginseng and a mysterious scroll. He recognized the 9-haired ginseng as a highly potent spiritual fruit that would greatly aid his progress. As for the scroll, Muchan felt an inexplicable familiarity with it. Curiosity got the better of him, and he decided to open the scroll. Upon unrolling the scroll, Muchan was greeted by a confusing array of lines and symbols. Although he found it puzzling, he was confident that his instinct could not be wrong. He recalled how his instincts had saved him countless times during his experiences on the Spirit Road. As Muchan concentrated on deciphering the scroll, the Sparrow Lady from his sea of consciousness took the form of a sparrow and attacked him. The Sparrow Lady nearly destroyed Muchan's soul, attempting to take control of his body. However, Muchan confronted her in his consciousness, calling her stubborn and warning her not to underestimate him. He asserted that he wouldn't allow her to devour his soul. Returning from his inner struggle, Muchan realized the scroll was the demonic Lotus Spirit Slaying Array. Even in his mind array state, he could only vaguely comprehend its power. He decided to discuss it further with Aunt Wen another day. Feeling a surge of power from the 9-haired ginseng, Muchan knew he could go even further. He gathered his strength in the Spirit Wheel stage and decided to take the chance to advance to the late period. Consuming the ginseng, Muchan felt the energy coursing through him, but he still found it insufficient. Determined, he rose with a power surge, ready to break through the barriers and achieve greater heights. Muchan recognized that he still had room for improvement in his abilities. Muchan's father expressed his pride in his son's progress, stating that Muchan didn't just advance to the late period of the Spirit Wheel stage, but jumped 2 steps instead. He proclaimed that with a son like Muchan, they need not fear provocations from the Liu region. He suggested celebrating with a feast where none would return home sober. Meanwhile, Muchan was filled with newfound power and spell energy after advancing. At Liu region's palace, Liu Ming knelt before Liu Tang, admitting his failure to kill Muchan. This visibly angered Liu Mubai, but Liu Tang reassured Liu Ming that this was merely a demonstration, and that there was no need to consider it a failure or success. He revealed that Liu Tang was in the sky-touching stage, and with his power, all opposition shall crumble with a mere touch. Back at Mu territory, Aunt Wen was teaching Muchan about the Level 2 enchanter's knowledge, but even she admitted that she needed to be made aware of the scroll's content. Muchan became frustrated, banging his head on the desk as he could create only 20 spirit seals, while the demonic Lotus Spirit Slaying Array required at least 100, based on their understanding. Muchan understood that he had a long way to go before fully comprehending and utilizing the array's power. Aunt Wen explained that the boundary between the first and second enchantment levels lay with the 21st Spirit Seal, making it a significant milestone for Muchan. She noticed a mark on the scroll, recognizing it as belonging to Muchan's mother, Sister Jing. Muchan realized this was why he felt a familiar connection to the scroll. Muchan's father arrived and saw the scroll. His emotions stirred as it reminded him of his beloved wife. However, Uncle Zhou interrupted with urgent news. The Liu region had suddenly contacted the entire realm, requesting a summit of the 9 areas. This raised concerns among the leaders, who wondered what evil plan the Liu clan might be plotting. The meeting was set to occur in Central City, the 9-realm city at the center of the Northern Spirit Realm. It was a highly significant event that attracted the attention of everyone in the realm. As another region leader arrived, the guards and onlookers were curious to see who it was. The Hong region, led by Hong Ling and her daughter Hong Lion, arrived at the summit, drawing excitement from the local people with their beauty and presence. The Mu clan also entered on horses, and Muchan recalled his father telling him how Hong Ling used to pursue him romantically. Still, their relationship eventually turned sour, leading to resentment. As Muchan mentioned this in front of his father, the latter became angry and struck Muchan, cautioning him not to let his mother hear this secret. Meanwhile, Tang Shan and Tang Qian arrived on a majestic phoenix. Uncle Tang warmly greeted Mu and acknowledged that it had been some time since they last met. Muchan's father reciprocated the greeting and explained that he, too, had come to the summit. Tang Shan revealed that Qian insisted on coming to expand her horizons, so he had to accompany her. He wondered what nefarious plot Liu Qing might have this time, to which Muchan's father reassured him that he would take care of them this time. As the summit unfolded, the leaders of the various regions gathered, each with their motivations and ambitions. Liu Ming stood at the entrance, complaining that Mu and Tang had arrived late and how they could be so relaxed. In response, Muchan's father calmly remarked that important characters always revealed themselves last, implying that as cannon fodder, Liu Ming wouldn't understand such nuances. Liu Ming ignored the comment and insisted that they follow his eldest brother, Liu Qing, who had been waiting for them. Inside the main building of the summit, the leaders of the Mu, Tang, and Hong regions were present, along with Liu Tang. Liu Tang acknowledged the arrival of Muchan's father and invited him to take a seat. Tang Shan objected, stating that it was disrespectful for Liu to consider himself the ruler of the Northern Spirit Realm, with all 9 regions present. Muchan's father dismissed the offer to sit, urging Liu Tang to speak directly about the purpose of the 9 regions summit. Liu Tang acknowledged the weakness of the Northern Spirit Realm, enduring the oppression of more robust realms. He revealed that his dream was to strengthen the kingdom, and he had formulated a plan for it. Muchan playfully mocked, suggesting that Liu Tang's grand plan might involve disbanding the Liu region to ensure world peace, eliciting the gathered leaders' laughter. Liu Tang continued, revealing his true intention to unite the Northern Spirit Realm and form the Northern Spirit Alliance. This alliance would be a coalition for defense and attack aimed at achieving the greater good for all regions. Li Yan, the leader of the Yan region, sarcastically questioned Liu Tang's intentions and implied that Liu Tang desired to be the leader of this alliance due to his grand ambitions. However, Liu Tang quickly clarified that the position of a leader should belong to someone with great power and remarkable benevolence, and he believed that Muchan's father was suitable for this role. This revelation surprised everyone, including Muchan's father himself. The proposal was met with mixed reactions from the other leaders. Muchan's father agreed to Liu Tang's proposal to make him the leader of the Northern Spirit Alliance, and Tang Shan also supported this decision. However, some leaders from other regions voiced their dissent. The horse band leader claimed that the Liu region was more substantial than Mu and supported Liu Tang as the alliance leader. This declaration gained support from the Yellow Sand Band region and another band. Lei Yan, disrespected by the event's turn, decided to leave the summit, but Liu Tang used his spell to seal the main door, preventing anyone from leaving before a satisfactory resolution was reached. Lei Yan became infuriated and prepared to fight Liu Tang, but before he could take any action, he was suddenly struck with a powerful kick that severely injured him. The one who delivered the kick was none other than Liu Tang's grandfather, who unexpectedly intervened. He supported his son's plan and declared that those who dared to leave alone should be punished. This unexpected show of force left Muchan's father and the leaders from other regions shocked and taken aback. With Liu's grandfather now involved, the situation became even more complex and tense. Muchan was shocked to see Liu Jing Shan, who was rumored to have died during his travels but had now risen to the first stage of the Triple Sky stages. He felt a sense of unease as he sensed that today's events might take a dark turn. Liu Tang taunted Muchan, telling him not to be stressed and assuring him that he would become one of them once he joined the Northern Spirit Alliance. Liu Tang then proposed to his father, Jing Shan, as the alliance's leader and asked for the opinions of the other region leaders. Everyone bowed in agreement, except for Mu and Tang regions. Tang Shan firmly stated that the Tang region was his life and would not accept Jing Shan as their alliance leader. Liu Jing Shan took offense to Tang Shan's refusal and attacked him, injuring him. Qian rushed to her father's side to check his condition, but Tang Shan urged her to leave quickly. Seeing the situation escalating, Muchan's father instructed Zhou Ye to take Muchan away and hide at the Northern Spirit Academy. He recognized their region's danger and believed it was best for Muchan's safety to keep him away from the unfolding conflict. Muchan was distraught, and asked his father about his plan for dealing with the situation. Muchan's father calmly told him to follow his previous instructions and focus on surviving, as he could only seek revenge. Liu Jing Shan once again demanded submission from the remaining regions, to which Muchan's father firmly stated that the Mu region would not submit. He gathered his immense energy, preparing for the impending confrontation. Liu Jing Shan launched a full-force attack against Muchan's father, and Tang Shan offered assistance. Seeing Hong region's hesitation, Lei Yan urged them to consider the consequences of letting Liu control the legacy of their ancestors and join in the fight against him. Hong region eventually joined Mu and Tang regions against Liu Jing Shan. As all the regions united against Liu Jing Shan, he became enraged and summoned the awakened twin-headed demon dog. The mighty creature unleashed its destructive force, causing the entire building to crumble, sending all the region leaders flying into the sky. As the fierce battle continued, people from outside the fight witnessed Liu Jing Shan summoning a ranked 98 demon dog and expressed shock at his supposed demise. Liu Jing Shan declared that all those who stood in his way would perish and promised to unleash the true power of the sky melding stage. The other regions responded with a full-force attack on Liu Jing, using all their might to confront the formidable opponent. Amidst the chaos, Muchan, Qian, and Hong Ling watched the intense battle from outside. Muchan instructed Uncle Zhou to take Qian and Hong Ling away from the dangerous situation. However, Muchan was determined not to wait for news of his father's potential demise. He was ready to give his all in the fight, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds, seeking any chance of salvation in this bleak situation. Muchan decided to use a final option, delving into his sea of consciousness where he encountered the Nether Sparrow girl. He proposed a bargain with her, offering life spirit power to fulfill her desires while asking for her assistance in return. Muchan promised that she could stay in his body and recover her strength until she had enough power, and then she could choose whether to leave or stay. As the battle intensified, Muchan convinced the Nether Sparrow girl to lend him her powers. Sparrow girl agreed, but she set a condition, to which Muchan readily agreed. She transferred her energies to Muchan, significantly boosting his strength and abilities. Meanwhile, Liu Jing Shan, feeling impatient, launched a relentless assault on everyone with a barrage of powerful palm strikes. The situation became dire as injuries mounted and victory seemed out of reach for the United Regions. Amidst the chaos, Leo Mubai threatened Hong Ling, asking her to leave Muchan and promising to spare her mother's life. However, Hong Ling stood firmly by Muchan's side, rejecting Leo Mubai's intimidation. She declared that she would rather die alongside her mother than be threatened by someone like him. Hong Ling realized her mistake in trusting Leo Mubai before, and now saw Muchan's true worth. The battle raged, and Leo Mubai attacked Muchan and his father. In response, Muchan tapped into his newfound superpowers and effortlessly subdued Leo Mubai, throwing him to the ground and displaying incredible strength. The onlookers were shocked and amazed by Muchan's display of power. However, Liu, undeterred, attacked Muchan with one of his powerful palm strikes, seeking to turn the tide of the battle in his favor. Muchan, now in the sky melding stage, wielded the power of the Nether Sparrow alongside his own. He challenged Liu Jing Shan, stating that their battle would be an equal match of sky melding stage cultivators. Liu and his followers were astonished at how Muchan had reached this power level. As the fight continued, Liu Jing Shan acknowledged that he had underestimated Muchan's abilities. Muchan proposed that if Liu abandoned his ambition for the Northern Spirit Alliance, they could be friends. Otherwise, they would remain foes. Inside Muchan's consciousness, the Nether Sparrow girl warned him that using her power would strain his body and may lead to collapse. Despite the risks, Muchan accepted, driven by his desire to protect his people. The battle intensified as Muchan launched powerful attacks, such as the Spirit Emperor's fingers and the Spirit Emperor's fist, while Liu Jing countered with his formidable strikes. Muchan's agility and spirit shadow steps enabled him to dodge Liu Jing's attacks with remarkable skill, leaving the spectators in awe of his abilities. Liu Jing summoned the Mountain Immortal skill in a desperate attempt to overpower Muchan, but Muchan responded with the Limitless Death Seal, shattering Liu Jing's attack. The impact of their clash sent debris flying everywhere, and Muchan's father realized the danger of the situation. He urged everyone to retreat from the battleground, fearing the catastrophic consequences of the battle's escalation. Amidst the chaos and destruction caused by Liu Jing's relentless attacks, Muchan remained resolute in protecting the innocent people below. He blocked Liu Jing's Mountain Immortal skill once again, refusing to dodge the attack and risk the safety of the city's residents. From within Muchan's consciousness, the Nether Sparrow girl questioned why he didn't evade the attack. to which Muchan responded that he could not disregard the lives of others while protecting himself. The relentless assaults tore the city apart. Muchan's father pleaded with Liu Jing, reminding him of the tens of thousands of innocent lives in the town and how they should not be treated as mere sacrifices for the Liu family's glory. However, Liu Jing remained steadfast in his belief, stating that sacrificing themselves for the family's honor was an honor. He launched another high-powered attack on Muchan, intent on obliterating him and the city. In response, Muchan utilized the 4th level of the Limitless Death Seal, a powerful technique that could potentially endanger his life, but offered a chance to counter Liu Jing's attack. He was prepared to face any consequences, even if it meant sacrificing himself to protect the lives of others. As the intense battle between Muchan and Liu Jing continued, Muchan remained determined and focused. He confidently retorted to Liu Jing's mocking, stating that it was still too early for Liu Jing to make such assumptions. With a surge of power, Muchan broke the Mountain Immortal technique in half, shocking Liu Jing and those watching the fight. Liu Jing was left bewildered, wondering how Muchan could possess such strength. He angrily yelled that Muchan may have had a good fight, but in the end, Liu Jing was still more vital. However, Muchan's unwavering determination led him to completely overpower Liu Jing's attacks, leaving the other region leaders below cheering and excited at Muchan's display of strength. Muchan fearlessly challenged Liu Jing, asking if he had any other techniques left. From the ground, Qian and Hongling cheered for Muchan, showing their support and admiration. Meanwhile, Uncle Zhou was in awe, wondering how Muchan had become unique and could overpower Liu Jing Shan. Amid the fierce battle, the 9 Nether Sparrow girl from Muchan's consciousness warned him that his veins could not withstand this level of power any longer and urged him to stop. Yet Muchan was determined to hold on longer to protect his loved ones. He recalled all the memories, training, and time spent with his loved ones, strengthening his resolve. He firmly believed that the Northern Spirit Realm was his home, and he could not stand idly by while Liu Jing's ambitions destroyed it. With his determination at its peak, Muchan unleashed another spell, loading an impressive 100 spirit seals on a level 3 array. Aunt Wen was surprised and believed that her sister Jing's strength was manifested in him. Muchan mustered all his strength and used the Demon Lotus Spirit Slaying Array on Liu Jing. Liu Jing realized that a level 3 array of this formation had never been completed before, and if he killed the person controlling it, Muchan, the display would collapse. Determined to end the battle, Liu Jing attacked Muchan fiercely. However, Muchan dodged and retaliated with the demonic Lotus Spirit Slaying Array's spinning motion, dealing a heavy blow to Liu Jing. However, the strain on Muchan's body became evident as his veins burst with blood. The 9 Nether Sparrow girl urged him to release the power, as his body could no longer handle it. Yet Muchan was determined to hold on longer to protect his loved ones. In a shocking twist, Liu Jing transformed into a fearsome 2-headed spirit beast wolf, revealing his ability to take the form of a spirit beast himself. The onlookers were stunned at this astonishing display of power. In his 2-headed spirit beast form, Liu Jing attacked Muchan with ferocity, and Muchan did his best to block the relentless assaults. Facing defeat, Muchan used a final spell, apologizing for any debts he may owe in the next life. The two combatants engaged in a fierce clash, and as the dust settled, Muchan fell to the ground, drained and exhausted. In his 2-headed spirit beast form, Liu Jing declared himself the victor of the battle. However, in a burst of determination, Muchan's father attacked Liu Jing, seeking revenge for his son. Muchan, lying on the ground, thanked the 9 Nether Sparrow Lady for protecting him and providing him with power. With renewed energy, Muchan rose again and launched a full-force attack on Liu Jing. The battle between the two was intense, and for a moment, it seemed like Liu Jing had been defeated. The onlookers believed that Liu Jing was dead, and the region celebrated their newfound freedom from his tyranny. However, Muchan's energy was depleted again, and he fell to the ground. 7 days later, the once ambitious Liu region was reduced to living like rats on the streets, fearful of retribution from the other regions. Teacher Mo explained that after the 9-region summit, where Liu Jing sought to unite the Northern Spirit Realm, he went mad and destroyed the city to display his power. It appeared that the other regional leaders would fall, but Muchan, with his secret technique, slayed Liu Jing on the spot. Despite Muchan's kindness, he could not spare the Liu region from the consequences of its crimes. They were not only responsible for repaying the losses suffered by the city, but also held accountable for their transgressions against the other regions. The events at the 9-region summit brought significant changes to the Northern Spirit Realm, with the Liu region's power shattered and the other regions standing united against tyranny. Chen, a 20-year-old who achieved the remarkable feat of slaying a sky-melding stage opponent, remained unconscious after the intense battle. At the Mu region palace, Chen's father was filled with worry and feelings of helplessness. He lamented his inability to protect his child's life and wondered how he would face his wife in the future. Nursing Chen, Aunt Wen conveyed that the doctors were concerned about his shattered spirit vessels, unsure if he would wake up again. However, she firmly believed that as the son of a king, Chen would overcome any obstacles and awaken soon. Outside the palace, Qian and Hongling fervently prayed for Chen's health, missing their preparations for the 5 Grand Academies. As 7 days passed, hope remained as they continued to pray for his recovery. In Chen's sea of subconsciousness, the 9 Nether Sparrow Lady urged him to wake up, persistently trying to bring him back to consciousness. Chen awakened from his subconsciousness, feeling disoriented and unsure of what transpired. The 9 Nether Sparrow Lady advised him to use his spirit powers to assess his body and understand what happened during the battle. As Chen explored his spiritual energy, the Sparrow Lady explained that while fighting Liu Jing, he forcibly raised his powers, causing his spirit vessels to shatter and making it difficult to control the flow of his spirit. The Sparrow Lady pointed out that now Chen was in a disabled and weakened state, akin to a person without any power. She reminded him that he ignored her warnings and acted recklessly as a hero. Now that he was awake, she urged him to leave consciousness and meet his father. Chen returned to reality and found Teacher Wen offering him soup. His loved ones were relieved and overjoyed to see him awake. Chen apologized for causing them to worry, but Teacher Wen reassured him that a bit of rest would help him recover from his minor ailment. Despite his father's concern, Chen acknowledged the state of his body, knowing that the shattering of his spirit vessels affected his ability to use spirit powers. Chen realized that he felt like a useless person without his powers. However, Qian and Hongling reassured him, believing he would recover. They encouraged Chen not to be afraid and reminded him of his determination to defeat Liu Jing and protect everyone, including Luo Li. Chen agreed that he had no regrets, even if he became powerless. He believed that his actions were worth it to safeguard the innocent. Despite the challenges ahead, he was determined not to give up on his dreams. 5 days later, Chen was seen practicing in the training area. He acknowledged that he couldn't compare his current powers to what they were before, as the damage from the shattered spirit vessels made it much worse. Nevertheless, Chen affirmed that he would make the same choice to protect everyone without hesitation if he had to face the situation again. Chen continued to train and practice, driven by the desire to recover his strength and become useful once more. In his consciousness, he heard the voice of the little Sparrow Lady. Chen said he felt grateful to have her as his most important friend. In Chen's consciousness, the Sparrow Lady said she didn't want to be his friend. She considered herself a tremendous divine beast and felt Chen offered her only food and a replacement body. Chen then suggested that if she desired to take advantage of his weakness, she should devour his soul and take over his body. However, the Sparrow Lady explained that she had no interest in possessing his useless body. Instead, she suggested that Chen be more concerned with how he could regain his strength. Chen inquired if she could restore his shattered spirit vessels, which she confirmed. However, the Sparrow Lady clarified that she wouldn't provide her powers for free. She wanted to make a bargain. The Sparrow Lady proposed that Chen must promise to help her evolve by obtaining the blood of the North Sea Longkin. 5 days later, at the Northern Sky Academy, Chen and Teacher Hao and other students were preparing for transportation to the 5 Grand Academies. Teacher Hao informed them that more trials and challenges awaited them and wished them good luck. Chen determined to restore his strength and find Luo Li, who thought about the divine beast, the North Sea Longkin, mentioned in the Beast Encyclopedia. He knew it was a formidable creature, and even the Sparrow Lady herself couldn't defeat it at full strength. However, she advised him to seek out the Northern Spirit Academy, where they might possess some of its blood. Chen bid farewell to his beloved Northern Spirit realm, determined to find Luo Li and regain his powers. A purple panther ran through green fields with floating ice-ground platforms in the vast Northern Sky realm. Chen and Tan Sang were also present, and Tan asked Chen about the sheer size of the Northern Sky Spirit Academy. As they explored, they were greeted by 2 men who inquired about their origins and informed them that this area was just the receiving stage of the academy. They explained that the next step was a test, and failure would lead to immediate expulsion without a chance to enter the academy. Soon after, a bell rang, and a man riding a flying horse introduced himself as Bai An, the overseer of their upcoming test. He announced that the task was simple. They must traverse the vast Northern Sky realm within a month and reach the Northern Sky Tower in the center while safely navigating through the beasts. Other students inquired about the specifics of the test, and Bayan elaborated on the details. Bayan explained that a magic circle awaited them at the top of the tower, which would transport them to the academy upon test completion. Tan appeared confident, thinking it didn't seem too difficult. However, before proceeding, everyone had first to touch the evaluation stone. As they did so, a mark with a number appeared on their foreheads, indicating their current level. Regular spots were level 1, seated spots were level 3, and core spots were level 5. Muchan touched the stone and received a level 3 mark, astonishing the other students. Yet another student also had a level 3 mark. Bai clarified that anyone lower than level 4 would be eliminated from the test. This news shocked the students, as they realized that this rule could eliminate most of them. Bai reassured them not to worry, explaining that their levels would automatically increase as they obtained items containing spirit essence by killing spirit beasts. Tan felt relieved at this information. Bai then distributed headbands to cover up the level marks, and he suggested that the fastest way to increase their levels was to plunder the spirit essence from the level marks of other students' foreheads. This added an extra layer of complexity and competition to the test. Bai's departure left everyone eager to increase their levels and obtain the coveted seated spots. As the test began, the seated spot students swiftly fled, with Muchan and Tan Sang following suit, making their way toward the northern sky tower. Meanwhile, the other students realized the value of catching seated spot students, and some of them used fragrance tracking on Muchan's clothes, deploying bees to follow their scent. One of the students, the group leader, praised the intelligent move of tracking Muchan, and they planned to rob a level 5 person to acquire enough levels. However, the leader cautioned against approaching level 5 students, as they were likely influential individuals who had been recognized as king level in the Spirit Road. Suddenly, the 12th floating stage in the northern sky realm received a high-ranking arrival with golden numerals, indicating a level 5 core spot student. The appearance of Luo Li as a level 5 core spot student caused a stir among the other participants. Many students were immediately attracted to her and started expressing interest in forming alliances with her. They warned her about the dangers of being alone and suggested that she join their group to avoid having her levels stolen by others. However, Luo Li realized she could take the initiative and steal stories from others instead. She decided to attack the students, trying to convince them to join them, surprising them with her bold move. As the confrontation escalated, Luo Li unleashed a powerful attack with her sword, striking all of them at once. One of the students accompanying Luo Li seemed to enjoy the spectacle, admiring her strength. The students who opposed her now recognized her power and backed off, realizing she was a formidable opponent. Luo Li continued to take levels from the downed students and expressed her impatience, stating that she would now search for Muchan. Meanwhile, Muchan and Tan were camping in the forest, enjoying a campfire and discussing their situation. Tan questioned the need for them to shower and change clothes, but Muchan explained that it was a precaution to avoid unnecessary trouble and added that he had prepared a surprise for them. The group that had placed a tracker fragrance on Muchan discovered his clothes with a lion beast cub inside, thinking it was him. However, their disappointment quickly turned to fear as a high-level spirit beast lion's mother appeared and chased them away. Back at the campfire, Muchan cooked a snake and prepared it as a meal for Tan, who was delighted with the tasty dish. Tan expressed his desire to follow Muchan for life, to which Muchan responded while eating that Luo Li also loved this dish and wondered where she was. Suddenly, they sensed someone approaching, and both became alert. A figure emerged from the woods, drawn by the smell of the food. Muchan and Tan became cautious, unaware of whether the newcomer was a friend or foe. Tan reacted impulsively and jumped on the person hiding in the woods, only to discover that it was a little girl with green hair. Concerned for her well-being, Tan stopped himself and asked why she was in such a place. The girl tearfully explained that bad people were bullying her sister Suner, and she was seeking help from them. Tan worried about the situation and urged Muchan to investigate it. However, Muchan remained unfazed and continued cooking the snake meal. The little girl, undeterred, eagerly took a piece of the meal from Muchan's hand and devoured it in one go. They gave her more food, and Tan wondered if this child was a new student at the Northern Sky Academy. Muchan asked how long she had been hungry, to which the girl replied that her sister told her not to talk to strangers. Muchan responded that if eating food from strangers didn't matter, then talking shouldn't be a concern either. The little girl finished her meal and announced she was full, intending to leave. Tan was confused and told her to wait, but she insisted on returning. Muchan mused that someone else had robbed them of their dinner, referring to the little girl's voracious appetite. On the second day, Muchan and Tan were hunting big fishes in the river, and Tan managed to catch one. Muchan praised Tan for catching a red flamefish, explaining that although it was strong at the mid-level spirit wheel stage, its meat was lean and had a unique taste, making it perfect for making fish meat hot pot. Meanwhile, Tan attempted to absorb the fish's spirit for his levels, but his number remained unchanged. Confused, Tan asked Muchan why his story wasn't increasing even when killing beasts. Muchan explained that the tests of the Northern Sky Academy were not easy, and in terms of red flamefish, they would need to kill 100 of them to gain just one level. Tan expressed his determination to work hard and asked Muchan what he would do about his wounds. Muchan said he had a way and recalled Sparrow Lady's advice that he needed to absorb more spirit, and the higher the level, the better. Doing so would help repair Muchan's spirit vessels. As they continued walking, Muchan heard something in the trees and questioned what the little fellow following them was doing. The green-haired little girl emerged from behind the tree and revealed hunger. However, she said she brought her meat and wouldn't eat theirs this time. She showed them a tiny bear cub she found along the road. Muchan became scared upon seeing the cub, as it was a thunderstar bear with strength almost at the middle period of the Divine Soul stage. Suddenly, the bear's mother arrived, furious. Quickly, Muchan grabbed the girl and shielded her from the bear mother's attack. He angrily asked the girl why she kidnapped a bear cub. The girl replied that she found it by the roadside. The enraged bear mother continued to attack, and the green-haired girl boldly used a jade screen protective spell to defend against the bear's claws. Muchan and Tan were amazed that she was a level 3 student in the competition, and her power was impressive. Muchan thought that a level 2 spirit array master at such a young age was worthy of a seated spot. However, after successfully defending against the bear's attack, a caterpillar fell on the girl's face, causing her to become anxious and scared, and she started crying. This confused the bear as well. After some time of running, Muchan, Tan, and Yesuner believed they had outrun the enraged bear and decided to rest. Muchan asked the girl for her name, and she replied that she was Yesuner, a 10-year-old new student at the Northern Sky Academy. She also mentioned that she was a level 2 spirit array master. Suner further revealed that her sister's name was Qingling, and she was solid, just like the bear they had faced earlier. Suner believed that Qingling could quickly get rid of that bear. Muchan then asked why Suner was not with her sister. She explained that she saw a cute little bunny and chased after it, accidentally getting separated from her sister. Hearing this, Muchan remarked that Suner was just a lost child. On the 4th day of the test, Muchan, Tan, and Suner were on the move, and Muchan reminded them to remember what he taught them in the past 2 days. They assured him that they had understood his instructions. While running, Muchan was suddenly chased by monkeys, and as he reached the count of 1, he yelled Suner's name. Suner, standing on a tree branch, quickly used the spirit spiderweb array to entrap the monkeys, effectively stopping them in their tracks. Muchan then called out Tan's name, and Tan responded by using the mountain thousands of peaks chaotic blade technique to defeat the entrapped monkeys, killing them all. Suner excitedly informed Muchan that she did it just as he had taught her, and Muchan praised her for her quick thinking and execution. On the 5th day, Muchan and his group faced a giant pig spirit beast and engaged in a battle with it. On the 6th day, Suner used the flowing sand array to immobilize a beast, while Tan followed up with a powerful attack on the trapped creature. Day 7 saw them continue their progression, battling with more beasts. The group was approaching the Northern Sky Tower on the 8th day. Muchan took a moment to meditate and repair his spirit vessels, with Sparrow Lady from his Sea of Consciousness aiding the healing process. With focused effort, Muchan successfully repaired his spirit vessels and regained the ability to use spirit power. However, Sparrow Lady cautioned that his spirit vessels were still weak and could only temporarily withstand a force equivalent to the early phase of the spirit wheel stage. Muchan was grateful for his progress and thanked Sparrow Lady for her assistance. He realized he could lay down some spirit arrays with his current strength. Suner and Tan inquired about Muchan's well-being, and he assured them he was all right. Someone from behind interrupted the group, claiming that Muchan may seem fine now, but who knew what would happen soon. Muchan turned his attention to the voice and asked who it was. 2 guys with their group stepped forward. One complained that Muchan harmed him and that they should take his life. The group's apparent leader revealed that it was Muchan, and they had crossed paths again. Muchan admitted that he didn't remember who they were. The guy with the scar on his face insisted that Muchan should remember because he was the one who gave him the spot. Other group members joined in, pointing at Muchan and accusing him of being responsible for cruel actions. With a hint of pride, Muchan sarcastically replied that he had hit many people in the face and didn't remember all of them. The guy with the scar reminded Muchan of the torment he had subjected him to in the Spirit Road, recalling incidents like hanging him from a tree over wolves, stepping on him near a river of crocodiles, and entrapping him. At that moment, Muchan's memory returned a bit, and he realized that the guy with the scar was the animated Jie Hu from Spirit Road. The brother of the scarred guy corrected Muchan, saying it was Ji Hai. The scarred guy, Jie Hai, asserted that Muchan now only had an advantage in talking. He mocked Muchan, calling him the famous person responsible for the bloodbath in the Spirit Raid, who currently possessed only the power of the Spirit Wheel stage, which he found laughable. Tan and Sunair, angered by Jie Hai's words, called him the wrong person. Muchan remained unfazed and retorted that if Jie Jiang wanted to laugh, he could laugh all he wanted. This only infuriated Jie Hai further, and he reiterated that Muchan's humiliation in the Spirit Road would be avenged now. He readied his sword to attack Muchan. Jie Hai lunged at Muchan with his sword, vowing to return all the humiliation he suffered at Muchan's hands during the Spirit Road. Muchan, shocked by Jie Hai's strength, noticed that Jie Hai was in the Divine Soul stage. Suddenly, Sunair stepped before Muchan and used her defensive spell, Jade Screen, at its maximum output. However, when Jie Hai's sword struck the shield, it broke through and hurt Sunair. Muchan worried about her, but Sunair reassured him, claiming she was pretty intense and could protect him. Jie Hai, mocking Muchan's perceived weakness, declared that he would kill Muchan in front of Sunair. But then, someone else arrived at the scene, Sunair's elder sister, Ye Qingling. Sunair was delighted to see her sister and felt relieved. Qingling came riding on the back of a giant swan and confronted Jie Hai, questioning his bravery. Muchan recalled the image of Qingling that Sunair had described to him, but seeing her in person, he realized she was not quite as he had imagined. Sunair embraced her sister, expressing how much she missed her. Qingling, concerned about Sunair's sudden disappearance, explained that she was worried for her. Tan, captivated by Qingling's beauty, fell for her instantly. He recited a poetic verse with adoring eyes, comparing her softness and warmth to a pure white lotus flower. Muchan shook Tan and asked him to wake up, wondering why he was talking about white lotus flowers when they were in the middle of a dire situation. Qingling thanked Muchan and Tan for taking care of her sister. With a smile, Muchan commented on how cute Sunair was, and that they enjoyed having her company. Qingling agreed and playfully remarked that, of course, her little sister was adorable. Sunair showed her sister the rash on her arm, explaining that the bad guy from earlier had bullied her, and she was scared and in pain. Muchan realized that the scar was from their encounter with her when she tried to steal their food. Filled with a desire for revenge, Qingling asked Jie Hai, who dared to hurt her sister, and warned him that he was in big trouble now. A bit worried, Jie Hai told Qingling that Muchan was not the good person she thought he was. He revealed that Muchan caused a great calamity in the Spirit Road, with his hands dyed red with blood, and was responsible for a bloodbath. Qingling was shocked to hear this, but Sunair quickly defended Muchan, praising him as a great person who protected her, taught her how to fight, and made delicious food. Qingling responded that anyone who treated her sister well was naturally a good person. She dismissed Jie Hai's accusations, saying that even if Muchan had caused a bloodbath, he was still better than petty crooks like Jie Hai acting arrogantly. She added that if Muchan were still on the Spirit Road, Jie Hai wouldn't have the courage to mess with him like this. Qingling firmly asserted that she would defend Muchan no matter what. In response, Jie Hai taunted Muchan, challenging him to come out and fight like a man instead of hiding behind a woman. Muchan calmly refused to follow Jie Hai's orders, knowing it would be embarrassing for him. This only angered Jie Hai further, and he accused Muchan of being a coward and unworthy of Luo Li, claiming that she dumped him. Tan intervened, warning Muchan not to be provoked by Jie Hai's taunts and reminding him that he was still injured. However, Muchan was determined not to endure certain words and decided to fight. He activated his loaded spirit form, acknowledging that some people are not worthy opponents, but he would give them what they wanted if they insisted on a fight. Jie Hai laughed mockingly and launched a sudden attack on Muchan, claiming that someone in the early period of the Spirit Wheel stage couldn't defeat a Divine Soul stage opponent. However, Muchan expertly dodged the attack and confidently retorted that being at the early Spirit Wheel stage was enough to deal with someone like Jie Hai. He swiftly counterattacked from behind, catching Jie Hai off guard. Jie Hai was determined to prove that he was not the same person from the past and that Muchan's shadow would not hold him back. He unleashed a powerful attack using his bloody scimitar, colliding with Muchan's attack, resulting in a massive explosion. Suner became worried about Muchan, but Qingling reassured her and told her to watch the fight closely. As they continued to battle, Muchan remarked that Geihai's divine soul stage power, attained from the spirit road, was only at this level, which he found disappointing. Muchan then surprised Tan by using his Death Seal level 3 attack on Geihai, indicating that his Death Seal level had improved. Geihai became enraged, declaring he wouldn't lose to Muchan at the Divine Soul stage and in a direct contest of spirit power. He fiercely attacked Muchan's spirit attack with his Bloody Blade Break spirit attack. As Geihai was sent flying by Muchan's potent attack, he became shocked and realized that Muchan, at just the early spirit wheel stage, had managed to suppress him, a Divine Soul stage practitioner. Qingling was impressed and surprised by Muchan's strength, acknowledging that he was worthy of causing the bloodbath in the spirit road. Suner was also thrilled and proud of Muchan's abilities, noting that he knew many powerful spirit arrays. Qingling playfully remarked that it was merely a coincidence that Suner looked up to her elder sister, as winning through cleverness was nothing. Geihai, now defeated, was sweating and shocked at losing to Muchan once again. Muchan reminded him of what he had said before, that there were some people one would always look up to and fear, whether in the past or present. Geihai became even more anxious upon hearing this. Muchan then took hold of Geihai's sword, and the latter started begging for his life, realizing they were in the Northern Sky Academy's entrance exam grounds. Despite Geihai's pleas, Muchan smirked and told him he didn't care. As Geihai recalled Muchan's actions during the bloodbath in the Spirit Road, he became even more fearful and desperate. He offered to transfer all his spirit level marks to Muchan and revealed the location of the Divine Soul Yin-Yang mushroom. Intrigued by the prospect of obtaining such a powerful item, Muchan asked Geihai for more details. Geihai explained that about 8.5 kilometers to the northwest, a small valley held many treasures, including the Divine Soul Yin-Yang mushroom. Suner, curious about the mushroom, asked her sister Qingling what it was. Qingling informed her that the Divine Soul Yin-Yang mushroom was a remarkable item that could increase one's spirit power significantly, and most notably, it could even help a person advance from the Spirit Wheel stage to the Divine Soul stage. Sunder was amazed by the mushroom's extraordinary power. Muchan questioned Geihai about why he didn't seize the mushroom for himself if he knew about it. Geihai explained that he had only received this information an hour ago and was preparing to lead a group of people to the location. However, upon hearing that Muchan was here, he couldn't afford to waste any time and rushed to confront him, resulting in the current predicament. Meanwhile, in Muchan's consciousness, the Nether Sparrow girl mocked Geihai, suggesting that he couldn't stop for even a moment, and came all this way to give up equipment and experience and embarrass himself as a cannon fodder antagonist. She playfully remarked that antagonists always seem to have such deep love for the main character. Muchan jokingly asked her if she had been reading novels recently, implying that her knowledge might be influenced by the stories she had encountered. Muchan successfully took Geihai's spirit levels and warned him of the consequences of deceiving him. He then allowed Geihai and his people to leave. Suner, impressed by Muchan's powerful spirit array, asked him to teach her the technique. However, in her enthusiasm, she hugged Muchan tightly, causing him to fall. Qingling pointed out that Suner almost crushed Muchan to death with her hug, to which Muchan reassured them that he was just tired and it was nothing to worry about. He explained that forcefully activating the level 3 Death Seal with his current spirit power pushed his limits due to his recovery from a severe injury. Qingling remarked that even with the Yin-Yang mushroom, reaching the Divine Soul stage was still unlikely for Muchan, as he was only in the early phase of the Spirit Wheel stage. However, Muchan revealed that he had already reached the late phase of the Spirit Wheel stage, and his current situation was due to his ongoing recovery from the injury. Qingling then took Suner and suggested they head toward the Divine Soul mushroom. Suner said they would help Muchan obtain it, and Muchan thanked Qingling for her assistance. Qingling expressed her gratitude for taking care of Suner during their journey. Meanwhile, Geihai and his brother were angry, and his brother asked if he would allow Muchan to have the treasure. Geihai replied that Muchan would grab it if he were fortunate enough. Geihai quickly ordered his men to spread the information about the location of the Divine Soul mushroom and Muchan's past as a bloodthirsty butcher in the Spirit Road. He believed that many powerful enemies from the Spirit Road would be eager to seek revenge upon hearing about Muchan's presence in the Northern Sky Realm. The news spread rapidly among the students participating in the exam, and everyone became willing to take revenge against Muchan. On day 2, Muchan and his group finally reached the valley where the Divine Soul mushroom was. Suner found the place beautiful, and the people accompanying Qingling agreed, acknowledging that the treasures here were enough to help them collect much spirit, making the journey worthwhile. However, Muchan remained cautious and warned everyone not to get too excited, as high-level spirit beasts likely guarded a treasure like the divine soul mushroom. Suddenly, Suner excitedly yelled that she had found the divine soul mushroom and pointed to some crystals where it was resting. Muchan was amazed when he saw it and noticed two thorn-tailed lions nearby, guarding the mushroom. Kingling suggested that if one person cared for one lion, it should be easy to deal with them. Muchan quickly realized that there was a third thorn-tailed lion, and suddenly a dragon appeared from above them, attacking with a powerful energy beam. Kingling swiftly reacted, grabbing Suner and preparing to face the thorn-tailed lions. Muchan instructed Kingling to hold them off for 3 minutes while he dealt with the dragon. Kingling confidently agreed and assured Muchan to take care of Suner. Kingling jumped into action, summoning her weapon with her bracelet and striking one of the dragon's feet. The dragon roared in pain and retaliated, attacking the surface where Kingling stood. She lost her footing and started falling, but Tan reached out and grabbed a branch to keep her from falling. However, the dragon lion continued its assault in midair, and Suner was worried about her sister's safety. Muchan, trying to calm Suner down, reminded her that Kingling was a skilled spirit array master and should be able to handle herself. He encouraged Suner always to keep a calm heart no matter the situation. Suner started making spirit arrays, reminding herself that she could do it. As the battle between Kingling and the dragon lion continued in the air, Muchan praised Suner for her efforts. With Kingling still in danger, Tan jumped off the branch he was holding and swiftly grabbed Kingling in mid-air, successfully evading the dragon lion's attack. Back on the ground, Suner and Muchan successfully entered the intent array state, summoning the gold wheel spirit cracking array with a powerful burst of energy. Tan safely landed on the ground, carrying Kingling with him. However, Qingling's attention was drawn to the energy burst caused by the collision, and she saw blood flying all over from the impact. The dragon lion and the other two lion beasts had been hit by the energy burst and screamed in pain. The spectators celebrated, realizing they had defeated two high-level spirit beasts, equivalent to the Divine Soul stage. The spirit essence of these beasts rose and flowed into Muchan and Suner, causing them to level up. They both rejoiced and were happy with their progress. Sunder reflected on the importance of studying calmly and choosing the most fitting spirit array for the situation, and she remembered this lesson well. Muchan patted Suner's head and acknowledged her insight, affirming that as long as they were well prepared, spirit array masters were mighty. Kingling arrived, remaining conscious of her sister's safety, and warned him not to provoke her or experience the consequences of death. Suner jumped up and hugged her sister, expressing her desire to help Kingling in the future. However, Muchan interrupted and reminded Tan that he was forgetting something important: his injury. Tan, who was in love with Kingling, suddenly fainted, leaving everyone confused about his sudden collapse. Kingling, too, appeared to be worried about Tan's condition. As night fell, everyone gathered around the campfire, sharing stories of how they had leveled up. Kingling's doctor tended to Tan's injuries in a tent and assured her he would be fine after a night of rest. Kingling instructed the doctor to find something to eat and warned everyone to remain vigilant. Muchan was relieved to hear that Tan was all right and apologized to Kingling for causing a delay in her journey. Kingling reassured him there was no need to apologize, as Tan was injured while protecting her. She suggested that now that they had obtained the Divine Soul Mushroom and Yesang was guarding them for the night, Muchan should use this opportunity to advance to the Divine Soul stage. Kingling believed that with more power, Muchan would be safer. Muchan respectfully accepted her suggestion and agreed to follow it. Muchan stepped outside and began preparing himself for the Divine Soul stage. However, from his consciousness, Sparrow Lady warned him that his spirit vessels had not fully recovered, and that absorbing the mushroom could be dangerous. Like and comment for the next parts, and don't forget to download the game, Raid Shadow Legends.